Hello again, everyone. Hi. Welcome to High Rollers with your dungeon mistress, Mara. Hi. Joining me this week, we have Chris Trott and Kim, and on the other side, my sweet boy Tom and Katie. It's a very cozy club today. We've got very cozy vibes going on, I feel like.
Jumpers.
Very snug. It's cold. It's miserable outside. He's got his blankie.
Always got my
Thermal.
Yeah, you got the thermals on.
Thermals on.
What a better day to be inside playing Dungeons and Dragons with our friends.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
A couple of very quick things just before we get started today. She's sadly not here because she's not very well, poor thing.
Party too hard.
It's party too hard. It's Rhiannon's birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Enjoy your
hungover.
cold.
Yeah.
F's in chat.
She's tanked.
Big F's in chat. Yeah,
It was
she
Ree's
is.
birthday on Friday, so hopefully she wasn't actually sick on her birthday, but she is sick today.
She's sick today, unfortunately.
Down
but
with the sickness.
yeah. Lots of love in chat, please, for our lovely Rhiannon. Ooh, wah. Also, unfortunately, if you missed it, our Roas and Lightful birthday merch is now gone.
Forever.
Forever. We delete the files.
It's
Never
deleted.
coming back.
No, it's like unus anus. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Like my anus.
But
Huh? It's gone.
I would say keep your... I can't do it because of my lashes. Keep those peepers peeled because in the future we might do similar ideas or we might do similar things. We might do time-limited runs. So keep your
Mayhap.
peepers peeled. Mayhap. And then, Chris Trott, do you want to just talk a little bit about Mena's Fate?
I certainly do. I'm going to quickly talk about this fantastic fantasy LARP that I'm taking part in making. It's launching in the UK, obviously, in April. For those new to LARP, imagine stepping into a living fantasy world, like being inside your favorite fantasy video game or D&D campaign, but in real life, complete with costumes and actual role-playing. It's set in the world of Alandra. 9 nations, which you get to pick, are battling against the corrupted forces. This is great. Players can choose to be fighters, spellcasters, leaders or merchants or whatever you want. The first event is a particularly special one because everyone's starting on an even playing field. So that's you get to shape the world's history from the very start. You can check out more information and join in on the community with our wonderful Discord. There's lots of people that are willing to help and people that have done LARP before or people that haven't done LARP before and are looking for others of like-minded people to join. So head to the Discord and also menisfate.com to get a ticket because it starts early April. So now's a really good time to get a ticket and come along. I'll be there.
It's true. He will be there. I'll be there. I will be part of the NPC crew. I also had a hand in some of the writing on one of the nations. Nation 9 or 7? Morvalis. Which, if you were a fan of a certain vampiric Sister Ophelia, I think you would quite like as well.
Yes.
But yeah, so go and check out Mena's Fate. But with that, I don't have any more announcements. Looking
that's it.
around.
That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's it. That's it. That's
Run the intro, Sam.
Good God.
Woo!
Jesus.
He's so excited. Let's run the intro. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Altheya, the Dragon Empire. Our heroes have set out from Ashen Rest, leaving their would-be inn in the hands of friends and allies, setting out on the road north towards the immense and ancient Rustwale Woods and the village of Colvel. Having previously learned of mysterious disappearances on the road and odd lights in the ancient woodland, combined with research done by Rowan on proto-magi vaults, the party think that the two may be connected, and this may be an opportunity to investigate an undiscovered vault, plunder its arcane secrets, and learn more of these extraplanar entities. On the road, the party encountered Yun Rookwillow, a halfling purveyor of premier pets, who was trying to corral some escaped dragonettes. Rescuing two of the creatures from a crystalline golem-like construct, the party were rewarded with one of these tiny serpents for their own. Xanthias, having had one as a child, chose a dark red-coloured dragonette, which Gruff named Trouble. Later on their journey, the party encountered a strange stone construct that attacked them in a fury. A clever polymorph spell from Rowan allowed the party to escape, but left the construct to potentially pursue them on the rest of their journey. And that is where we pick up again today. Daisy, having been a little EP perhaps in the travel, perhaps awakening in the back of the wagon with a yawn as you have been traveling for the sort of better half of the morning after your encounter with the golem.
I don't even have to RP the EP. I'm always EP.
EP. You are traveling through, you are now in the thick of the Rustwale Woods. This ancient woodland of russet brown coloured trees, tinged, streaked almost, with little rusty fragments of red in amongst their bark, giving much of the name for the location. You begin to hear the sound of rushing water as you begin following one of the smaller streams that makes up the Ruby River that flows through Cauldre. You begin following this, knowing that it will lead you to the village of Colvel. It's not long before, under the shade of the dense canopy, the oppressive summer cauldron sun easing off in the cool shade of this ancient woodland, that you begin to hear other noises mixing with the babbling brook and the rushing waters. You begin to hear the creak of a wooden water wheel. You begin to hear the bustling sounds of axes chopping wood, the hubbub of townsfolk going about their business, as you see Colville ahead of you. A very short wooden palisade wall, no gate, no guards. This is a small village. Does not have the affluence of a place like Ashen Rest or even of Burnell, where you had previously attended. This is remote, out of the way. You can see a few structures. There appears to be a large inn-like building. Seems to be the dominant building in the center of town. You can see a few other sort of permanent structures, homes, things like that. A few odd-looking huts, maybe on the very edges, the outskirts of the village, right up against the woodland itself. But also large sections of the woods have been cleared out. And you see across the water, across the river, a large lumber mill. The running water's powering a wheel that powers a great saw that seems to be cutting timbers. If any of you remember that first town you visit in Skyrim, River Run or something like that.
River Place.
River
White
Place.
Run?
What runs the city?
But that idea of...
With Jarl Balgruuf.
But that idea of one of these immense water wheels basically powering a saw that, saws these huge logs. And you can see that there are scattered other, warehouses and offices and things like that. And this lumber mill seems to be kind of the most dominant industry of this little village, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, you can see that up ahead. You're not quite there yet, but you can begin to see it through the clearing of the woods. So if there is anything you would like to do, one thing we need to do is our Crucible of Fate.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
And whilst you are rolling, for podcast listeners, I do sound a little bit different, as you said. If you're not unaware, I am a gender fluid person, and this is my more feminine approach, and I go use the name Mara, because we didn't explain that on the last time I did this for the podcast listeners.
Oops.
It's fine. But let's get those D6s.
I got a 5.
A 5, that is a dice for you.
Yes.
Yes. I got a 6.
A dice for you.
A dice for me.
Cinco.
A dice for you. For I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know the Spanish for you.
Ti. Para ti.
I've got 3.
Oh, a dice for me. Thank you, Trot. Oh, and another 3.
That's nice.
Oh, so we're 3 and 2.
3 and 2. That's good.
With 5 of us, yes. Okay, not too bad, not too bad.
Wonderful. But yeah, you have a little bit of time, so you are approaching this place. You don't really see many people around this village. It's very, very quiet. There are no guards. Like, there is not really even a gatehouse. There is just a sort of very loose wall around the sort of inner buildings, but many of the cottages and lodges are actually outside of those walls as well.
So how, is it Colvell?
Well, only one L at the end, so Colvel. Colvel.
Colvel, okay.
Colvel.
This whole...
Not like Matt Colville.
Yes, okay.
Not named after Colville.
Sure, okay.
Colvel.
Although I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's
Yeah.
a lovely man.
It's a nod.
Originally there was Reeve Alwyn Dell here and Squire Pascal.
Yes, that's who we were told to meet, right?
Yes.
However,
This whole journey
That was a while ago.
from Grove Warden
yes.
to now,
Yeah.
Rowan every few minutes or so is like hearing like a snap in the woods or something, thinking that the Grove Warden's after us, basically. So he's on hyper alert, hyper vigilance, entering this and seeing the minimal defenses, minimal security here.
Is it it's a concentration spell, right?
It lasted an hour.
So
But you would know, like, the moment it ended, right?
yeah.
Feel a tingle.
Okay. Cool. Fair enough.
Guys, it's over.
What's happened?
Well, our
A
journey's
big
over.
angry warden is now big.
It's
again.
back.
Yeah.
It's no longer the Firestone. Okay.
Yep.
So,
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Sounded like a big...
Ophelia said, I think I heard something as well.
Really?
Like, yeah, Ophelia's, her and Percival are also quite agitated and on high alert. You know, they're stalking in the woods, sort of scouting around.
I mean, we were careful, right? There's no way that thing can follow us. We got quite far away. So, what's the likelihood that that thing is able to track us the
Could
entire
smell
way?
us.
Did it have a nose?
I don't know.
I didn't see any orifices, no.
Okay.
Daisy, you would hear Nim, who's listening to all this conversation. Little one, I would not, perhaps it would be wise to point Xanthius to the rather obvious wagon tracks on the road behind us.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Very good point.
These deep ruts in the sort of soft earth.
I mean, how could they
Rodri.
possibly...
Rodri's footprints.
Daisy's just going to point at them.
Who's are they?
Who's she? Who did that?
That's weird. Where'd they come from? Weird.
Is he going to go along on the road?
Start kicking it. No, ain't gonna follow us.
Can I make
can certainly try.
perception check to see if I can hear anything?
Yeah, of course you can.
Add a 7 to that. What is that? 4.
To 11.
So 11. You, like I said, you can hear the sound of the rushing stream, the river. It's not a large river, but it's quite substantial. That's very overpowering here. You do hear the sound of, like, logs being chopped. And maybe in the very faint distance, you hear a kind of, like, you hear, like, some sort of, like, call, like, timber, and then, like, a,
Did you hear that? That was like, Grove Warden, watch out.
and then there is this very loud,
There it is.
It's in the village already.
Oh my God.
This is like out distant in the woods,
Okay.
in the deeper into the woods.
Maybe there's guards here or something. Maybe we can warn
I
them.
don't see any.
Maybe there's.
I have a plan.
Okay, good. I like
All right,
plans.
hear me out.
Okay.
Okay, we have the wagon.
Yeah.
We have the little river.
Yes.
We divert the tracks
Into the river.
into the river. We borrow some offcuts of lumber, float it in the river so it looks like the wagon's destroyed. We lift the wagon and Rodri,
That's a big lift you're asking for
place
here.
them in the town.
I don't even imagine you could lift Rodri. And I've seen you lift a big stone.
I haven't thought further than the river bit,
Okay.
so
Maybe it got bored and stopped following.
no. It was so angry. And all its little bees.
While the boyos are scheming, can I send Seren for a bit of a visual
that's a good idea.
scout?
Behind you.
Yeah, to go back the way we came.
Yeah, sure. What's
Following our
how
tracks,
far would you want? Like how
so
much distance?
I think it says wild companion, find familiar. It can go up to 100 foot. Well, it can go where it wants, but it's still in
You have
communication
communication
with
up to
me
100.
up to 100 foot.
Yeah, you would hear Saren just be like, "Of course, Gruff," and begins to fly off back down the way you came. For the first 100 feet, Saren just says, I do not see it. I do not see it. I see nothing. I do not see the giant stone."
Okay, maybe instead of
Would fly out of your range, basically.
Instead
But
of
you know,
diverting
Saren,
it?
Saren will go out far, but will come back.
Come back, yeah.
instead of diverting it, if it is going to follow our trail, then we could maybe head back a little bit and set up an ambush. We find a way to, I don't know, trip it up, capture it,
You already did
put
that.
ropes over it, turn it into another fire stove. Do that again, but this time throw it somewhere. I don't know.
Is it bad that my first thought was throw it in the river?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we did to the last time we polymorphed something. What was it? We were working
No,
out how
we
many
made-
football fields we could
No,
put a
you
squirrel.
don't like throw it to
Yeah.
drown it. You put it in like a basket and float it down the river so it goes
we Moses
further.
it.
Like the
Yeah,
Moses.
we Moses.
Now it might be in the middle of the ocean.
Deliver
by the
us!
time.
Anytime we've polymorphed something, it's gone extremely
There's always
well.
a
just-
hunting
My
element.
favourite is still when you polymorph something into a mole, threw it into a corridor of psychic damage that it couldn't
that was
escape
in
from.
Lightfall. I think that was
Giant. It was a giant.
that was the giant. Was
You
it Filani?
polymorphed a giant into a
Cloud
mole,
giant.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
and we went and yeeted
Not
it.
because a lot of people probably won't remember that. Just as a
Fantastic
question,
moment.
have you stopped Rodri and the wagon like outside of the village? Basically, is
I
this
think
like on the
the
outside?
moment we
Yeah,
see it, we're
yeah.
now thinking we probably shouldn't.
We're
lure
leading
this-
with-
Brought death
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Death is coming. Death is here.
There must be someone in the village that knows about this creature, right? If it looked ancient, it must have been roaming these woods for a long time. Mm-hmm. Maybe
that
someone in the village knows about this
sense.
thing and has some kind of way to dissuade it.
What if they're like, we've had a peace with this Grove Warden for centuries?
So long as you don't burn the beehives on their
polymorph
shoulders
it.
and polymorph it into a fire stone, it's peaceful. If
And
we
bury
do
it
that,
underground and leave it.
yeah, maybe there's a very specific series of things you shouldn't do with this thing in order to draw its ire, and we've done that.
There was something about that cracked gem on its forehead. Remember, there was a green gem
Yes.
that looked
I remember vividly.
funny.
And I had
Gruff,
written
you would,
down.
also, you would
And some
remember that
bands.
like one of its arms was covered in like moss and and it had clogged up all of like these etched runic lines on its arm. And I think when you did the tidal wave, it washed all of that away, and the power sort of refilled into that arm. And it did seem to stop for a moment, almost like something had changed within it. But then you could see this cracked gem, and something on its leg was all like there was metal that had like twisted out of shape and things like that. You do remember those as well, like they're.
So I do wonder if it's like, you know, if it comes after us again, if we fix those things, maybe wash a bit more of the dirt off of it, it might restore its sanity or something, because it really seemed quite pissed off.
It was very big, and I don't have a bucket.
We could lure it into the river with the wagon tracks.
True.
It's all come together.
Give it a damn good scrubbing.
Yeah? How big is the river?
I would say it's substantial enough that you would need like a kind of a big bridge to cross it. It's kind of a substantial kind of river, like
It's
not
scrubby
quite the
river.
River Avon, but something a little smaller.
Okay, so make it follow a trail towards the river. We're on the other side, waving at it. Hey, come get me! Throw some bees at me! Ha ha! But we've also put a rope down across the trees. It trips over, falls into the river, clean.
We probably need to fix
Magic
the gem
restore.
and the bells as well.
that's not going to fix.
Worst case, it flows down the river. Not our problem anymore. Turn it into a firestone. It becomes part of the ocean now.
Didn't look like a floating kind.
If firestones are.
I could not do that again.
Oh,
today.
okay.
I have spent my energies.
Well,
4th level spell slot's gone.
I don't know.
Gruff will give a very sharp whistle.
Yep.
And it was his signal for Saren to
Yeah, and
return.
that whistle carries significantly. Let me.
So the warden hears it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a few minutes later, like, Saren's been flying for a little bit, comes back. Let's see. I'm going to roll D100. See if Saren saw any sign of this thing. What should I call this? I'm going to say 30% chance.
Okay.
Saren, once they reach within the 100-foot range, Gruff, the big stone is coming.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right. I don't want to alarm anyone.
Saren flying at, good speeds. Like, this is probably about 3-4 minutes behind you guys. Seems like it's kept pace or sped up almost.
In my head, I'll ask: is it following our tracks? Like,
Yes. It is coming the way we came.
What do you mean you don't want to alarm us? You said you that and then went silent.
I don't want to alarm you.
So that's
What is
great.
it? What?
Thank you.
So Saren is beautiful Saren. She's really good as a scout.
Beautiful. What a beautiful creature.
She spotted the warden
Great. Okay, where?
on the road, following our tracks.
How far away?
Not far.
Fine.
Okay, all right.
This
Well,
is
let's
fine.
we
This
put
is
it in the
okay.
river. We put it in the river. We wash it off.
Wading into the
Okay.
river.
This way, everyone.
Come on.
But I don't.
So you get to the banks of the river. Rodri is like hesitant. Like Rodri immediately is like, I can't go that way. There's a big river in the way, and there's no like fording. It's quite deep. Like you can look. It's a fast-moving river. Like this is a kind of proper wild through the woods kind of rushing river. And Rodri's just like stops. Like, well, I clearly can't go this way, and just sort of stays where he is.
Gruff.
What about? I'll ask Saren again. Did it still have beehives on its shoulders?
No, they were burnt off.
They all burnt off. Yeah, there's no bees. There's no
Professionally.
bees left, yeah. Okay.
A professional exterminator.
Yeah, I could have talked to them.
We just need to hide Rodri.
Why don't we just go up the river a little bit and then try and lure it up there
Just
instead?
away from this town.
Away from the town, away from Rodri.
Why don't we put Rodri in the town and then we go away from that?
I can't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's going to follow Rodri and the tracks.
But not if it sees us.
Right, so we confront it outside of the village.
I mean, I don't see another way around it because it's either.
have an
I don't think
better
it should.
idea.
It shouldn't get to the village. We can't let it get there.
I think we do need to own up
Rowan's
to
got
our
an idea.
mistakes
He's
here. What's
thinking
your
very. He's
idea?
got a nosebleed.
Here's a tissue. Here's an
Ambush.
Anki.
Ambush.
Ambush time. That's
We
exactly.
all in wagon. I don't know why I'm reducing word. We go
Okay.
all in
Well, why
wagon.
use more word when few word do trick?
Good. All in wagon.
Yes.
All in wagon.
I. Silent image. Us. Other side.
Other side. Yes, other side of the river.
Oh.
That's a great
All
idea.
like oh.
there
over
there we
there.
are.
We.
Yes.
Wagon.
In wagon.
Where
This is a great plan.
Attack.
But we need it to see the silent image. So you make the
Yeah.
silent image like waving or like
Yeah, no
shooting
fucking
fire or
shit.
something.
Yeah.
Rowan! Language!
So make it very obvious that we are on the other side. If it listens to any
Yeah.
sound, it's gonna come to us.
There's no sound, but yes.
We make no sound, I'm saying.
Yes, it's silent image.
Yes.
Can I ask Nim?
Yes.
About the gem or anything that Nim might know about? Like, how can we get this thing to stop being aggressive?
Let me make an Arcana
See if
check
they
for
know
Nim. Ooh. Nim would say, well, little one, I am no mage. I studied a little of the celestial magics. The Legion creates these similar constructs for war. And they are known to malfunction if some of the sort of control devices or the enchantments get out of alignment. I think that when your friend Gruff washed off the debris, it did restore the debris. The debris. No, she would say debris. Celestials say things differently
They just
sometimes.
say things. That's who they become.
I believe that they restored some of its functionality. And I did notice that there was some damage to its leg and perhaps something wrong with that gem. I don't believe it was cracked, but perhaps out of alignment.
So maybe if we can fix that, then it will stop being.
It will likely will likely revert to its whatever its basic function is. I don't know what that is. It seemed to be some sort of caretaker, perhaps.
Okay, I relay this information.
That was a lot of information in such a short time.
Are we doing that in the wagon? I'm ushering everyone into the
we
wagon.
can't clean the
It's
debris in the wagon?
it falls into the river,
debris.
trying to get to us. Silent image
Yes.
across the river.
Nim said
As a
debris.
point, because I don't think it's been clear, the debris has already been washed off. That was
But-
affecting
There's none
one of its arms.
But it's in the river, being washed
the
away.
arm that was covered with the debris
Yes.
has been cleaned and it restored functionality
It's
to it.
the leg that's-
There's something wrong with the leg. It looks like there were metal bands that were like broken or snapped,
So you need to
and then
fix
something with its gem in its head was
So
out
those
of
are the
alignment.
two things that we.
Yeah,
okay.
they're busted. Because I gave it a damn good cleaning with tidal wave.
I was about to say, like, surely
was
there's
scrubby.
no debris left.
Just to be clear, yes, there is no debris.
But if it's in the river, then it's having to fight against the current while trying to get back to us. It's already struggling to get to us. It will slow it down a lot.
All right, I think we're on two tracks of thoughts here. You boyos want to kill it.
No,
Us two want to fix it.
I'm all for fixing it. I'm
Or
just
diverting it
it's
away. from the
diverting it.
village.
Yes.
Ophelia sort
okay.
of dashes back where she's been sort of out scouting, keeping an eye out for this thing. Oh, I think it's coming. I can hear it. And as she does, you all look and you hear this kind of,
Get the bloody wagon.
as like the ground is
The
shaking.
Seven Nation Army is here.
Yeah, there's a weird half step it does. But you look from your current positions, because you've moved off the road, you're now by the river, and sort of through the tree line, you, some distance away, like several hundred feet still away, but something is coming, basically.
Right, does anyone have anything that we can fix and mend with?
Oh, you mean mending?
I grip
Yeah.
Rodri's face.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Flee. Head to the village. Go.
Make for the village of
Leave us.
He thinks you're like giving him a stroke, so he like
Rodri,
nuddles
stop
against.
it. Come on. Your life is in peril. I'm pushing him.
No, he's like thinks you're giving him a little neck massage. He's like,
Can I try and direct Rodri using animal?
you can make an animal handling check, yeah.
18.
Yes,
Nice.
you kind of know you're like, because you know that like, yeah, he's such a big creature. Like pushing him is not really going to do anything. He needs like something sharp, and so you kind of have like a little whip crack or like a reed that you kind of slap him with. No, this is a way, but it's because he's very tough. He's got a scaly hide, and
Okay.
he's like, oh. That's my sign, I've got to go. And you sort of direct him away from the river. You know, you have to steer him away. And he begins trundling towards the village, basically, with the wagon on the
Yeah.
back.
So you have mending.
What is that?
That's a good way to get a cow moving.
Thomas!
Thomas, would you like
What
to
is
explain your
wrong with
gesture for the
you?
podcast listeners?
I think you should.
No, I don't need
He did when you make a fist and then you get a finger and you put the finger into the fist.
He did
gesture.
Lucius.
He did.
Poured it right up the ass.
That's not
Wow.
what happened.
Have you done that?
For podcast listeners, he nodded.
It was affirmative.
Happened to me too.
What?
It's happened to a lot of us, Thomas. It's happened to a lot of us.
Anyway.
So, Rodri begins making his way up towards the village. What are all of you doing? This thing is like maybe like a couple of rounds away at this point.
Wagon.
Right.
Silent image.
Silent imaging.
We're just gonna like give it a little frazzle, at least to have an up chance to.
Up
Going
chance.
to
That's yes.
Hide
Okay, stealth check.
behind a tree or something.
Sure,
Or
stealth check, please.
Yeah.
I'm going to silent image us up the path.
Across the river.
Away
Towards the village.
No, away from village.
Okay.
So it would be towards him,
Towards
but across
him.
the river as well, right?
Just so that he's confused at least for one round.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you create like an illusory duplicate
Yes.
of the party.
It's like cardboard cutouts.
Okay.
It
21.
was best as
We're
well.
home
21.
alone.
21.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Gruff and Xanthius doing? Ophelia and Percival. Ophelia will sort of panic in her tizzy way that she does. Oh.
Wait, so we're hiding in the wagon. I'm going to hide in the wagon.
We're not hiding in the wagon.
The wagon's going to the village. The wagon is
Wagon's
gone.
in the-
Wagon's
Wagon's
not
out of this.
I'm in the village.
Okay.
It's in the village.
Xanthius.
One person who can cast mending is in the
Hide,
village.
hide behind a tree
All right,
next to
stealth check,
Daisy.
please.
Daisy seems to know where to hide, so I'm going to do exactly that.
Don't come near me.
Why not?
He's next to you.
No.
He's touching your leg.
If he's near me, I'm
What did you
changing
roll?
trees.
Daisy, I'm going to hide here.
I'm
You're doing
changing
great.
trees.
3.
I'm changing trees.
You don't see Daisy. Your passive
Daisy-
perception is what?
Fucking gone. My passive perception is 8.
Yep. You
You've
don't know
never
where
seen
Daisy
me!
is.
I want to hide with Daisy. Where's Daisy gone?
What was
Daisy,
your
I got a
what was your-
3.
Yeah.
Where's
okay.
Daisy?
Who's Daisy?
Gruff, what's Gruff doing?
Who's Daisy?
Oh my god,
don't know
it's
what you're
so well.
talking
You've hidden from my memories.
In time.
I've never heard of her.
Oh,
What is Gruff
I think
doing?
as well. Screw it.
Give me a stealth check. Rowan spent his turn
13.
casting Silent Image.
From within wagon.
13.
You're in the wagon.
I'm in the trees
Okay.
somewhere.
the wagon's being taken to the
wagon's
town.
in
I've
the
already been
village.
told I can't go in the wagon.
Can everyone stop being on the wagon?
Wagon's gone.
Rowan's like peeking out the back door of the wagon, concentrating on his spell as Rodri is slowly
Hold on
pulling.
a second.
It's weird. The illusion's getting smaller and smaller. What did you get on your stealth, Gruff?
13.
13. As the creature, as you all kind of take these hiding positions, the creature is running down the road. Like it has been sprinting after you since you left, which is how it's caught up with you so quickly. As it does, it catches sight of two things. The illusory duplicates sitting there waving, but closer and on this side of the river is Xanthius going, "Where's Daisy? Where's Daisy?" And Xanthius, you were the one who burnt the beehives.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way,
Okay.
if that's how he remembers it,
The rest of you will have a surprise round. Rowan, you are like, I'm going to say 100 feet up the road in the wagon. Everybody else will get a
already bought
surprise round.
I wasn't allowed to stay in the
Xanthius,
wagon.
you do not. You and it are on the same initiative, basically.
Flobbering
So we're going to roll initiative,
That's
and then
right.
those of you who are successfully hidden will get a surprise round.
Yes. Okay. All right. All right.
Yes, you do need to do something. What did you get, Xanthius?
Got a natural 20.
Oh!
Yeah.
What, for a total of?
21.
That was one of your last that could have gone either way.
Daisy,
19.
19 for Daisy. Gruff,
16.
16 for Gruff. And for Rowan,
17.
17 for Rowan. I will roll for Ophelia. Ooh, that's going to be I think, 21 for Ophelia as well. And then for
last.
Percival.
The first time that's happened.
Percival actually
I
gets an
think-
18.
Wow.
But we know that Percival's the real hero of this party.
Yeah. No, he's
What
the
did
best
they
of
call
us.
it? No Mercy Percy.
No Mercy Percy.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's a critical role thing. We can't take.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can't take
sorry.
that.
I just saw it on the internet.
Percival DeRollo.
YouTube
Kowalski,
comments
something,
lead me
something,
astray.
something. I'm going to say, I'm going to have Zan go first because Ophelia's not here and I need to get her character sheet up and stuff like that. But this isn't a surprise round for you, so
Not a
actually you
surprise
don't go
round.
first.
I'm not going first, but also I'd like it if you call me Zan, the man with the golden plan.
Okay. I won't do that.
Okay, fine. Just Zan works.
Zan. Ophelia is going to... Oh, God, what would Ophelia do?
Does she have anything? No, that's my game.
Usually quite aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like, especially where she can see that this thing is going to go for Xanthius.
Sometimes does a hold action thing as well.
Yeah, well, I think she will
Spider climb up the tree.
move up. Yeah, she will spider
Yeah.
climb up, staying hidden. She will kind of jump between the trees using spider climb, position herself by Xanthius, ready in action that when it comes closer, then she'll make an attack. It's a surprise round, so Daisy would then be next.
How far away am I from it?
I would say that this happens as it gets within sort of 60 feet of Xanthias. It sees Xanthias about 60 feet through the tree line.
Okay.
So you would be about the same distance, let's say.
Can I?
We'll say that there's basically Help Theatre of the Mind will do zoning. So we'll have the woods, which is where you guys are all hidden, the road, which is where the creature is, and then we'll have the wagon, which is where Rowan is, which is
I want a
quite
different
fun.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loading.
Can I? Basically, I want to sneak behind the construct.
Yeah. This thing has no idea
Yeah.
you are there. Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to sneak right up to it and try and jump on it and try and get to the gem on the front and try and twist it into place.
So that because you can dash as to get your
Yeah, I
extra
can
50.
dash as my bonus
So what
action.
that's going to be is as you move up, you spend your 60 feet, gets
Yep.
you up to the creature as well. It's going to be 2 checks
'Kay.
because you need to climb on top of this thing
Okay.
to get to its head, and then it will be, I would say for you, a thieves' tools check to realign the gemstone. So don't forget you have 3 fate point as well.
Okay. So what am I?
Athletics for the climb.
Athletics? Not acrobatics for.
I will let you use acrobatics.
It's not that much of a difference, to be fair.
I will let you use acrobatics, though. It will be better because it will be dex. So.
It's like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
What is it?
What a great game.
But it will be athletics to maybe stay on it if it tries to throw you off.
21.
21. So with the acrobatics, this thing has no idea you're there, and you can see that there are these like etched, very Shadow of the Colossus, like these etched rune lines, and they give you like little handholds, and you bounce off of a tree and manage to jump sort of from tree to tree onto its shoulders. And you're quite light and small. It does now know you're there, but it doesn't have time to react just yet. As you land and you reach its head, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that that's probably going to be your action to get on top of it. So next round, you'll have an
Okay.
opportunity to try and.
So
get its
at the moment, I'm trying to like.
But that was a
reach-
surprise round. So
Yeah, but I'm just going. Sorry. I'm trying to help. I'm sorry. I promise it'll
you
be
just
fine.
hear a boo, kind of like as it's moving around. It does know you're there, but it's slow to react to everything. So after Daisy, it would be Percival. Percival will move out into the he's actually Ophelia's, because Rhiannon sent me some things. Ophelia is like, Percival, stand back. You've taken too much damage, and sort of like gestures him. And so he's gonna take up a position at the back and just stand guard, basically, because she doesn't want him to get hurt anymore. So, so after Percival, it would be Rowan. Who is about 100 feet, 160 feet actually, from the thing up
Oh
the
my
road.
gosh.
Rowan busts out of the wagon, dramatic fashion, landing on his feet, and then starts running. And then is going to dash
Okay.
as far as he can.
So you're now 100 feet away.
I'm coming!
Yeah, you are on the far end of the road, basically. Okay. It would then be, it's Gruff because it would be also the Golem, but the Golem is a surprise round. So Gruff, you get an action.
So from my hiding place, can I please cast the spell Entangle?
Yes.
It's got a range of 90 foot and hits an area of 20 foot. So you see the ground at the golem's feet start to churn and twist, and all these plants start coming up out of the ground and lock around its feet, and make the terrain, the area difficult terrain. You must succeed on it's probably going to, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. Succeed on a strength saving throw.
Okay.
DC 15.
That is going to be a success, unfortunately. Yeah, its giant feet just rip the roots out of the ground with
Still
immense
difficult terrain
strength.
for it, though, right?
It's still difficult terrain. It's half speed.
Thought I'd give it a go.
So it means it won't be able to reach Xanthias, but it does
That's
also
good.
know that a daisy is on its head. So
Yes. Okay.
Nah, I'm just fine.
anything else, Gruff?
I know I ask every time and I keep getting scorned every time, but can I cast Shillelagh as well? Are we doing the whole bonus action magic?
I've said that that's fine because I think Shillelagh.
Shillelagh
It's
is
such a
such a-
minor
yeah.
spell. Like in terms of you're just setting yourself up for future turns. I really don't mind.
It's a nothing.
Pretty much is.
So it would be the Golem, but the Golem is surprised as well.
Yep.
So now we just go into a brand new round. Ophelia will see what Daisy is trying to do, and I think that she will run up, and because of her spider climb, she doesn't need to make the acrobatics check, and she's just going to give you the help action on your test. So she's going to be like, hold still, you beast, and sort of like trying to hold its head so that you can, go on, Daisy, get it, you know, oh, can you fix it, and sort of like doing that. So that's what she will do. So then it would be Xanthius, as it is now a proper turn for you.
Zanzan, the man with golden plan. How tall is this thing, and how far away from the ground is Daisy?
So this thing is massive. This thing is about, I would say, 15 feet tall.
Okay.
So yeah, Daisy's like 10 feet up, basically.
And would this count as, when a spell says each creature, it does count this thing, right? Mm-hmm. I would like to cast a 4th level spell, please. I would like to hit it with Confusion. I presume I don't have to hit its head, right?
No.
So I want to hit it with Confusion and also not hit Daisy and Ophelia with this.
Okay.
It would need to make a Wisdom save, please, Mr. Giant Man.
Failure.
Hell yeah. Well, it needed a 14 to pass. Great. It cannot take bonus actions or reactions and must roll a 1d10 at the start of each turn to determine its behavior. Mm-hmm. And I have the list here for when it does want to make that.
So when you cast this spell, you see that, you know, the runic magics that you conjure, Xanthius, the colours on its runic body and its gemstone begin to almost flash and change, and it awkwardly begins to shift as almost like there's a storm of power, like a swirl of power, like its power is fluctuating and its magical programming is going haywire, basically. It just does not know what's going on.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it's affected by the confusion.
Nice. And I like to imagine this as it's if it had a mind, it would be filled with a similar kind of visage as that sort of dreamlike nightmare that I'm in every night. And that is my action to do that. In terms of bonus actions, is it still looking like it's just charging straight towards me, or is it?
No, its threat process would be, well, without the confusion, its threat process would be, there are things on me, I need to get them off, basically.
Okay, well, just in case, I will use a bonus action to create new runes on my board.
Okay.
With a sorcery point.
Okay.
And I will stand my ground, waiting to see what this thing will do now that it's very confused.
All right. Daisy, you are up next. So you have advantage, and this would be a basically like a thieves' tools. Do you have expertise in your thieves' tools?
I have proficiency.
So just normal proficiency.
I don't.
So it's like you would select it when you do expertise, basically. I don't think you do. So it'd be Dex plus
Where would I
proficiency
find
for
that?
you. It's not unfortunately listed. Like tools are like an awkward thing on D&D Beyond, but it's Dex plus proficiency. So I think it should be +8 if you've got a +4 Dex. Oh no, +7 because your proficiency is +3.
Yes.
I keep getting this. I keep thinking you guys have +4 proficiency. You don't. You have +3. So +7 with advantage.
Do I do a fate
You can
Do
do
I
a
fate
fate.
it?
Absolutely.
Fate it?
as well?
I think we can post-roll
Give it
fate.
max.
You can do, but it's always
Yeah,
good
go
if you
for
do
it.
it first.
What was it? +7. So about 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yes, just enough actually, just barely.
Good thing I did
This device, you can see, yeah, the gem isn't cracked, it's out of alignment.
Okay.
So maybe it was like Gruff saw like the edge of the thing where it's separated and thinking it was a crack, but no, it's basically come loose. But inside you can see a very complex stone mechanism, almost like a lock, and you have to kind of twist the gemstone, push it in, twist it, almost like a safe, like cracking a safe. And so you're sort of hanging upside down. Ophelia's kind of holding your legs, holding you in place as you're, twisting and and eventually kind of, and you watch as the gem resets, locks in. The eye flashes for a moment, and that same sort of surge of power runs through it. And on its left leg, there you can see that on the right leg there are these kind of coils of metal, and they kind of draw power from the land into the creature. On the left leg, some of these bands have kind of broken and like bent outwards, and as the power goes, it sparks, and then the power fluctuates and it doesn't complete. But the gemstone is locked in place.
Okay, I will.
And that would be your action to do that check.
I will do a scramble down and disengage and go the rest of my movement.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you easily get away. Yep, absolutely.
And just say, the gem's fixed. I fixed it, I think. And that is my turn.
Perfect.
Not wanting to be a dick, but with the difficult terrain from Entangle slow you down.
You also don't need to disengage because it can't take reactions. So you could dash instead if you wanted to.
So yeah, you could easily get out of the entangle.
I'll get
without
out.
that. Yeah.
I'm just using my full movement then.
Yeah, so basically you're going 60 feet, but then half difficult terrain,
Yeah.
but you could easily get out into the woods and then be quite clear of this thing. I'd say you're about 20 feet clear of
That's
the
fine.
creature,
I just want it
of
to
the
be
difficult terrain.
out of, it's immediate and just
Yep.
ready for whatever.
It will have to move, if it does make an attack, it'll have to move up and attack you. So after Daisy, it is Percival who is keeping off to the side, which means it is Rowan.
Rowan is going
You are 100 feet away.
to dash.
As you run another 60 feet, you are now 40 feet away. But move and
40
action.
feet.
Yeah. Well, you've got a bonus action left.
Bardic Inspiration is 60 feet. I'm gonna Bardic Inspire. You hear some tunes in the distance. with heavy laboured breathing.
What's that?
That's it. You got this.
You're so inspired right now.
Yeah.
So uplifted all of a sudden.
All right. Gruff, and then the golem will have to roll to see what it does.
I'm not sure what to do because I don't want to hit it. Because
Yeah.
Would you like to make an ability check, like to try and do something, or
Yeah, I
do
was-
something creative?
I was thinking I want to try and deal with the band on its leg, but I mean, presumably Zanzan, the man, with the golden plan, came in and said, "Oh, I have mending."
Yeah. Don't worry. Zanzan the man with the
Well,
plan.
what I will say is they are very sturdy looking, like, iron bands, and they are bent outwards. Mending can seal a joint, but it's not going to snap them back into place.
Yeah, I presume they're more than a foot apart from each other.
Kind of studying a little bit, you think that they're going to need to be bent back into place and then sealed.
Not very strong. However, the other thing I was thinking was using heat metal. It'll
That would make it easier to bend them and seal them. Yeah.
hurt him a little bit, but
We'll
I
hurt you a little
did
bit as well.
burn his
but
beehives. So hurting him a little bit more isn't the worst.
It's, in the grand scheme of things, probably not going to be the worst.
2d8.
I would also say
You can always cancel
you
it
would
as well
have
after
enough
you-
control of your magic where you can heat the metal around his leg. You'll still do some damage, but I would actually reduce it because you can almost actively be like, I purposely am trying not to hurt it, so I'm trying to just heat the bits that are sticking out, but it would maybe do half damage, basically.
In that case, I'm going to give that a whirl. I'll try heat metal at level 2.
Okay, he can't succeed the same throw because it's bound to him. So just roll the damage for me now and let's half it.
He dies.
Jesus. I rolled an 8 on one and a 5 on the other. 13.
13, so 6, because it will be 12 and 6. So the metal heats up, and you can see these kind of twisted bits of metal glowing bright orangey red. There is a bit of a kind of sizzle, but it's made of stone, but it does seem to kind of like stumble. Is there anything on Confusion where if it takes damage, it gets a new saving throw?
No, it's just at the end of their turns.
Okay, great. Well, in that case, yeah, you heat the metal, which will make it, obviously, anybody who grabs that will potentially hurt themselves, but we'll say by next turn you can choose to end the spell at any point. So,
I'll just be like, I'm really sorry, big boy. Oh, I'm so sorry.
do you want to keep the spell going for now, or do you want to end it immediately now that the metal's hot?
Will it stay hot? If
It will stay hot for a round.
Okay.
I'll leave it to fate, and I'll cancel it because I
Yeah, because you don't want someone to come and hurt
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
So
yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, you do that. No problem. You cancel the spell as you've heated them up enough to make them softer to bend back into place and potentially meld back together as
Yes.
well. Its turn.
Oh, yeah.
Can you roll a d10 for me?
I roll it?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? Let's see here.
Just you,
Um,
my sweet boy.
fan-fucking-tastic. If it rolls a 9 or a 10, it chooses its behaviour.
Great. It still has an Ophelia on it.
It has no feeling. It can only take an action.
Okay.
Sorry, it can't take bonus actions as reaction, so it can still move and take an action.
So its instinct would be it has something on it. It would make an action to basically grab Ophelia.
Okay.
So it's going to try and grapple Ophelia. I will roll a check to see if Ophelia gets away. She does not.
Okay.
Roll 2.
Okay.
So this thing grapples Ophelia. It's going to like literally with one hand grapple her, and then looking around. You did something, but you've run off. You did just cast a spell that hurt it, though, Gruff. He's gonna throw Ophelia at you.
Okay. Can I catch?
Maybe this is a pretty heavy, well, sort of like a woman
wearing a lot
covered
of
in
armor,
and like weapons and things like that. I'm gonna basically treat this like he has a throw like rocks ability.
Oh.
He's basically throwing Ophelia as his rock.
Last time we didn't catch Ophelia, she fucking died, so...
21 to hit.
That will just help me. I caught her though last time.
No, Gruff
I
caught her.
caught
she
her and
fell
she
off
didn't
the roof,
die.
and Gruff made the choice to go and
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like all that again. It's
that
happening again. Oh no.
Did you roll?
I rolled max damage.
Oh!
25 points of damage to you and Ophelia. And can you make a strength saving throw for
I'm real
me?
good at those. Strength save. 12.
You both go down knocked prone
Okay.
as he basically and throws Ophelia, slamming into both of you as you crumple to the floor. But that's going to be his full turn because it was one action to pick her up and then one action and then
can't believe
his
you rolled.
multi-attack to throw.
A 10 on that.
Hey,
I need
Yeah,
to
it
make
happens.
a constitution saving throw on my entangly.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Concentrate. Did I say constitution? I mean concentration.
How
It's,
embarrassing.
it's the same
Same
thing.
thing.
15 plus constitution.
You're fine.
3, 18.
Yeah. I think it was like 13,
25 would
but-
be DC 13.
Isn't that one that when it's there, it's there?
No, it says a C on it. It's got
Oh.
a C.
Yeah, entangle is concentration, yeah.
I thought it was.
Is heat metal concentration?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
So
point.
entangle would have gone.
Would have gone anyway.
Yeah, entangle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
So-
a good point. Entangle
Okay.
went
Is
heat metal.
free of the difficult terrain
Yes.
and the roots.
But then I dropped it heat metal. So there was nothing to make a concentration.
And then at the end of the golem's turn, it saves against.
It saves against, yeah, so it needs to make another wisdom
Ooh,
save. How...
5.
No! Still confused.
Used, which makes sense with its like its own energy kind of in
going on.
fluctuation and things like that.
Yes.
We go to the top of the round, Xanthius.
I am going to see this hot metal, even though it's dumb for someone to touch that. I have resistance. I would like to attempt to shove this thing back into place, and if not, I do have mending if I
Okay.
can't get it far enough.
Well, this would be so. It's first things first. It would be an athletics check to try and bend the metal back into place.
Okay.
It is a much lower DC because it has been softened, but you are going to take some fire damage.
Okay, athletics. Can I?
Bardic Inspo as well.
Ooh,
And
no,
A
it's both.
D8.
a D8 to
And you
this.
could spend a fate as well if you like, or do it retroactively.
I have faith.
The faith.
I have faith in myself and my abilities, which is a healthy thing to have.
To believe in yourself.
Yeah.
If you're doing it, is it an ability check?
It's a yes, yeah.
You get to roll that Bardic Inspiration again because of my motive potential.
Do you get, So he gets both results. Oh no, he keeps the
You
bardic,
get
doesn't he?
yeah. Choose which roll to use.
Oh, so
I
you roll it
see.
twice and choose. That's pretty
It's an
good.
advantage on the
amazing.
Bardic Inspo.
Good, because I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Which one are you going to keep?
You want to spend that fate point?
I'd like to spend a fate point, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because turns out,
Oh my god, a 1! Are you. Oh.
so I rolled a 1 followed by a 2 on the D8, a 6 on 20, a 1 on the D6, with a +1 for my athletics. That gives
Wow.
me 2, 8.
Finish the maths.
I don't know.
Not much.
I don't want to.
Not enough.
I don't want to. Don't have faith in yourself,
Thomas.
kids. It's a bad idea.
9. What's your.
10.
10.
It's 10. I did say it was a lower DC. It's enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, teamwork.
Yeah. It's normally a 15, but with I took a 5 off the DC.
Yeah.
So yeah, Xanthius, but you do take 4 points of fire damage, half to 2. So Xanthias, with your kind of clawed, draconic sort of scaled hands, you bend the soft metal back into place. But it will be an action to cast the mending spell. Like, you've put them together,
Okay.
but the seal isn't complete.
So it's not quite there
you've
yet.
bent them back into shape, but it needs the mending spell to complete, basically.
Okie doke. Okie doke.
It was your movement to move up to the creature as well.
If I produced flame with a bonus action,
You can't produce.
it's already
flame
as
with-
hot as
You
it
can't
needs
produce
to be,
flame with a
right?
bonus action.
Yeah. It says it's bonus.
It's a bonus action, but you've already. No, you didn't cast a spell.
No. Well, mending. No, I haven't cast
You haven't
mending
cast
yet.
mending yet.
Is there a way I could have?
I would say no, produce because the thing's already hot. The mending
Yeah,
is to
it's
actually
only
like
so hot it
seal.
can get.
It's you're like welding it now. Like the two hot
want
ends
to-
have come together, but you need to finish the weld.
I don't want
you
to
know.
crack the tang.
Do you know
It
what
will kill.
It will kill.
I was about to ask, do you know what a tang is? But you've been playing Kingdom Come.
Yeah, it's also not related to this like at all.
Okay.
But
Right.
someone out there is like, he's kind of on the right track with that one.
Xanthias, are you?
Hello. Oh yeah,
Okay, great.
long done.
Because I've actually made knives.
Ophelia will
Oh damn, that's scary.
stand up. You've already bent them back into shape, which is what she was going to do. She doesn't have any way of mending this.
She's just standing
Okay.
in my face.
So, yeah, she'll get up. She'll use her action to help you stand up,
Okay.
Gruff.
That's fair enough.
I'll just keep it simple while he's not here. After Ophelia, it would be Daisy. What would Daisy like to do?
I don't have that much to do at the moment either because we don't want to hurt it or anything.
Nope.
So I'm just gonna take the dodge action if it
attacks you at
attacks me.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm just gonna do that.
Great, okay. In that case, we then go to Percival's Beway, Rowan.
Rowan's still running.
You're now within 10 feet. Without spending your dash,
Yes.
you'll move 30 feet up, you're 10 feet away from this thing.
You have an action.
I've seen from wagon to now how big this creature actually is. And he's just thinking as he's running towards them,
Man, that's big. That's really big.
and the geometric patterns on his arms start pulsing. And he becomes large.
What? What do you mean?
Large again. You were already large.
You're already large.
I become large.
The size,
Large.
I believe it doubles your size.
Oh
If
my
you cast,
God.
you cast the spell enlarge.
Well, it's a good thing we're outside.
No,
Or is
it's
this-
a feature
Ooh.
that's called
We're
Get
online.
big.
large form.
Get ripped.
Oh, that's right, because
Large.
it's the adapted Goliath, I think.
Oh.
Large for 10 minutes.
So Rowan becomes 16 feet tall. He is about the
Holy
same
shit.
size as this thing.
Oh
You know,
my
like in
God.
Power Rangers, where like, now make my monster grow.
Daisy's gonna just go.
Hey, don't attack the village.
And I'm going to grapple.
Okay, well, you have
keep them
reach
in
now
place.
because you've got large size, so
Got
your reach is
reach.
10 feet.
Yeah.
So you can reach this thing. So yeah, it will need to make a. So what is your strength
I
score?
have advantage on strength, which is great.
Okay, well, let's do it as an opposed athletics then.
All right.
It's not normally how grapple works, but I think that's more fun.
Yeah.
Let's use my shining. Cool. I have advantage.
You do.
I'll get a fate.
Okay, the last one.
Oh,
Delicious fate.
22.
That's not a good roll.
22.
It is pretty strong.
It's like it's like kaiju battle. Like you lock hands, like its big stony arms come up. Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, and you sort of wrestle its arms, and you get it into a bear hold, and the creature's arms are pressed against its body, and Rowan successfully grapples
Oh
this
my
thing.
god, okay.
Xanthias.
Okay.
Ouroboros in God of War. the vibration.
Oh, yes.
Of my
Yeah,
voice.
yeah, yeah.
Jormungandr.
Jormungandr.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Jormungandr. Yeah, this
snake.
deep bassy voice. It would.
Fix him.
I'm working on it!
Well, it is Gruff's turn next.
Gruff is going to run up to the feet of the Grove Warden and try not to get stood on by Rowan. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bonus action to extend my shield so that the side cover flicks out to give us a bit more cover. And I kind of want to shield Xanthias and hold my action that if like the foot comes down or like the something comes towards, I can protect Xanthias and just like fight that off.
Okay, great. Confusion.
Confusion. I roll another d10 to see what this guy does. Would you believe it? He's free to do whatever he wants.
He will try and break out of Rowan's grapple. Let's do another opposed athletics. I think it's more
What's happening today?
I'm
What is
rolling like
Advantage
a god
still.
king for them.
18.
Rowan succeeds. I got
Yes.
an 11 plus
Really?
5, 16. So this thing tries to break free.
Hey,
Stop it.
Calm down.
As this thing responds, seemingly, unable
I
to.
know.
Oh my god.
That is the thing said. We go to Xanthias at the top of the round.
Hi there. So I'd like to, the final push to reactivate this this broken anklet this guy has. I would like to dash forward and mending on that seam.
So I imagine it like a clawed finger, like a welding, there's a blue spot.
All the way down.
And you do a couple. There's like 2 of these bands that have been bent out of shape, and you do the 2. As soon as the second band is in place, there is this kind of thrum of magic, and energy from the earth seems to go in through its feet, up the bands that do successfully now channel the energy. It flows through the now clear runes on its body that have been washed away from the debris. And it flows up into the head where the gem is now properly aligned, and you see that something fully triggers. And do you drop the confusion spell?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still not hostile.
Okay. In that case, basically at this point, like, what are you all doing on its turn? Because you all go before it, so you will get a turn, basically.
Just waiting.
Just wait.
Yeah, I think it is a wait situation because it can still like do limited things on its turns while it's confused. It's just so long as it's not punchy.
Okay.
I probably would.
I don't,
I don't really. Yeah.
I'd maybe
Angry.
drag Xanthias away. Like,
So you like cover him as you retreat, maybe with Xanthias?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
difficult to tell because it can't.
Also,
take a
Rowan's
reaction.
currently got it grappled as well.
Rowan's grippy, bear hug, turning into like,
Calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Pat, pat.
Yeah, but still keeping it grappled.
still keeping it grappled.
Okay.
But is it still like? Is it resisting to that still, or is it?
I mean,
still,
right now
like,
it's
happy?
gone like stiff still. Like it's gone completely still, and you're seeing this green energy fill all the runic kind of engravings on its body, and it's gone up to and its eye is glowing and flashing, almost like a device when you reset it. Like,
Okay.
I'll slowly loosen
nice
and like
restarting.
step back.
okay.
Yeah, if it is like not actively fighting against Rowan or even like looking at us and throwing hands, then I will drop the confusion in that case, and see what it does. But this is enough time for us to all kind of back away from it and see what it's going to do.
Okay.
Gonna blow up.
I don't know. The pulsing is kind of concerning, but
The green comes on now. Its whole body illuminated by green energy, the gemstone in its head glowing, and it just sort of slumps for a second, stands up. It reaches a hand up to where the beehives were, and then almost seems dejected. It kind of, and it just looks into the distance and moves into the forest and moves away.
Right.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Doesn't say anything, just
It's off.
moves into a direction.
well, it's not killing us anymore or heading towards the village. So I think that's a good thing.
What's
I'm
that
so
little Zen?
sad. I'm so sad about the bees.
How is Rowan this big? Have I gotten smaller?
Hello.
My chest just reverberate.
As you're sort of all looking up at Big Rowan, there is a sort of call as down the road, you can see Rodri is like gone into the town, and there's like a few sort of folks in like woodsish kind of garb, like green hoods, simple leather tunics with like woodcutters' axes, and they've all come out of the gate and they're sort of pointing in your direction.
Oh, no.
And all sort of talking amongst themselves. And you maybe hear like, oh, one of them's right big now, like, and it's sort of like they're kind of discussing amongst each other, basically.
Did you cast some kind of magic, Rowan? What is this?
I thought that is a big thing. I want to be big.
And you
I
became...
became big. I'm big now.
Now, I have to ask you, Trot, this is a very serious canonical question that you have to answer this very seriously.
Here we go.
Clothes or body? Clothes too? Or just body?
Clothes as well.
Okay.
It's magical.
Okay, the responsible
like the Hulk.
choice.
Well, the Hulk rips through his
Yeah,
clothes.
he's famously topless
Yeah,
and
because
shredded
he rips his
pants.
shorts. And when he goes back to Banner, he's naked.
Yeah. Well, he's not naked. He's just in giant ripped trousers. Well, no, he's not in giant ripped. He's just in ripped
For
trousers.
the sake of remember that you have things like magic items, perhaps it would be
not
best
taking you
if
back
you
to the
keep your
tailor.
clothes on.
Yeah, we're not paying.
We're
for
not
your
going back to the
clothes
tailor.
every time you do.
Magic items are really hard to rip, so it's like really tight clothes.
Spandex. He just invented spandex.
Yeah.
I could
also,
ask you
you're
this
wearing. Don't
question.
forget, you're wearing like tight leather pants, and leather doesn't break very easy. It's quite tough. That would be very uncomfortable.
I could ask you this question on like 100 different days, and I would get a different answer
would.
every time.
You would.
But yeah,
Are you gonna? Is this
Hello.
forever?
I crouched down.
Oh bloody hell!
are small.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Hello.
do you think it's a giant? Is it invading? Like you can kind of hear like, these conversations.
No, we're just
He's
travelers.
casting a spell.
I'm not casting a spell. Fireball.
Is this you forever now?
No, I think I can feel it waning. 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm just gonna step back.
I'll be right in a minute.
We're not casting spells. We're just travelers on the road trying to get to the village. We were attacked by a big Titan thing. Not this guy.
There's like three of them. You can see that there's one young woman, two gentlemen. One's a dwarf. The other two look human, and they're sort of like you know they whisper to each other. You don't hear them because you're still quite a distance. And one of them sort of goes running off back into the village. And the other two sort of holding these wood cutting axes are just sort of like looking in your direction, not quite sure what to do.
Just wait a minute. I'll be small in a second, and then we can chat.
Sure.
There was an angry warden. And
Yeah, we heard. We saw it.
it was gonna hit your village. So we stopped it.
Maybe we should just drop our weapons, and so they know that we're not trying to attack them.
I don't think you have any weapons.
I don't have any weapons,
I've
but
got my staff, but it's on my back.
Ophelia's like got her hand on Veracity, but hasn't drawn it yet.
sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just tempted to just wait and see.
10 minutes pass. Rowan, you Mario. Yeah. No, because that's obviously how it
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Like you grow big dramatically, but then it's like a.
Hello.
And you also see that up ahead, a very well dressed, like way more well dressed than the other woods folk that came out. A dwarf, very neatly groomed, beard, long hair, kind of slicked back, maybe a little bit thinning on top. Wearing a sort of vest with a tie, which is like more of a kind of city fashion, really. And he kind of comes out, he's got his hands in his little waistcoat pockets, and he's like, well, he's like looking over. Are you guys making your way up towards
Yeah.
Colville at this
I
point?
think it depends, like how the woodsmen and the quote-unquote guards react to us, like getting closer if they're terrified of us.
I mean, they're definitely frightened. Like, these guys don't look like trained soldiers or guards. They kind of just look like woodsmen who have maybe heard that there was some commotion and thought, you know, what's going on out here. As you approach, the dwarf sort of is like, excuse me, hello, who are you?
We're travelers from Ashen's Rest.
What was all that affair? The creature was the golem?
Oh, well, we were hoping you'd be able to enlighten us.
Oh yes, we know of the golem, but what did you do to it?
Well, we fixed it.
fixed it.
We fixed the gem and we fixed the bands and we gave it a good wash and
Yeah.
I seem to remember who it was.
It attacked us
Oh
maybe
goodness!
an hour away.
Oh, quite a lucky thing that you've done that. We didn't realise that the golem had malfunctioned. It's sort of known in these parts. Come on in. Is this your wagon and your beasts?
Yes, we sent it ahead because we didn't want it. We didn't want Rodri here to get into.
Well, let's get it stabled at the inn, and perhaps you and I can have a sit down and talk about what just happened. It sounds like we owe you a little bit of a debt for what you've done.
Well,
At least I can do is buy you a drink.
Are you the Reeve here?
the most you can.
Why, indeed I am. And he sort of bows to you. Alwyn Dell, Reeve of Colvel. What's everyone's passive insight?
Oh, it's like 1 million, dude.
I know, I don't actually, why am I even asking you?
11.
13.
13, 14.
Good question. Passive insight. 14.
14. Daisy and Gruff, you pick up on the three woodsmen, like so the other one has kind of joined them now. It looks like he ran off to get the Reeve. Like, he's just like, oh, yes, come, let me get you a drink. They sort of roll their eyes. They don't like this guy. Like, you can immediately pick up the vibes that these woodsmen do not like this Reeve.
Okay.
And they sort of are like, you hear them, and Gruff, with your perception, you would pick up that they would say, we should go and tell Osa. Like, this guy's like, let's go let Osa know what's going on. And they're like, yeah. Let's let the boss know.
How do you spell the Reeve's name?
Alwyn Dell is Alwyn, Alwyn, Dell. Alwyn Dell, like the laptop.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored.
It's a good thing.
And the name that they said, Osa, is Osa. Osa.
We were looking just for you.
Oh, perfect. Oh, wonderful. What business from Ashen's Rest? Very good. Come on in this way. The inn is it's the Acorn isn't a very fine establishment, but it does all right. For out here in the sticks. Yes, Charity's got a few good beverages on stock. I make sure he keeps the good stuff for when I fancy a little tipple.
Is it haunted?
No.
And it's one up on our tavern.
Oh, are you tavern owners? He sort of stumbles
He's
forward.
a dwarf, you said.
Yeah.
8 foot tall Rowan.
Yeah. I mean, he's a dwarf, but he's quite a scrawny dwarf. Like, he's quite thin. You can see that he has, like, he's quite hairy, but you almost think that, like, he's had his arm hair sort of, like, done in a certain way, like it looks, and his earth skin actually appears as almost like knuckles, and they're all carved to look like coins. So he has like coins on his knuckles across both hands. But he wears like his sleeves all the way down to his wrists. You can see he's like sweating in the heat, even though there's shade here. He's like pulling at his necktie, like the weather. But he leads you to a 2-story thatched roof building with a signpost outside that just has a very crude picture of an acorn in amongst a forest, and just the word "The Acorn" is the tavern name.
Oh, lovely.
He points out, and you can see that next to the wagon there is sort of little dirt track that leads behind it, where there is like a little stable. And he says like, "Oh, just send your beast down there, and Charity will send one of his boys out, or the boy out to deal with it, I'm sure. But yes, come in. Let's get inside and get something cool to drink."
Okay.
Yeah, I'll lead Rodri to the wagon and catch up.
Yeah, it's very easy. You just tuck him around. There's a water trough. Rodri immediately, he's quite thirsty because it's hot.
Who's a thirsty boy?
He's like,
You are? Me too.
yeah.
Have a little drink.
Okay. It's not good. It's very gross animal trough
All yours.
water.
All yours.
But for Rodri, he's more than happy. He just starts slurping it up, and
Sure.
there's like a big pile of like hay and grass and things like that he's happy to munch on. But yeah, you can also hitch up, like you can actually stake down the wagon and things out here as well. But you quickly make your way inside. The rest of you, as you head inside, this is like real classic like English country pub, right? Is a big bar. couple of tables, little booths. There's actually a dartboard with like a little area for like playing darts, glasses and like, you know, various like liquors up on a mirrored sort of surface behind the bar, stairs that lead up to maybe a couple of rooms up above, but very kind of quaint and comfortable, but very country. Like you can definitely fit a lot of people in down here for a drink, but it's like proper, kind of got that smell of like, you know, when you go into a pub with like your parents when you're a kid, it's got that real old school kind of vibe. Yeah.
Does it have a group of mad, starry-eyed locals who are giving you the "you're not from around here" vibes?
At this time of day, probably not just yet. It's actually empty.
Okay.
And so when you enter, there's like a little dingle of a bell, like as you kind of step in, and there's nobody actually there behind the bar. And after a few seconds, a tiefling, tiefling in our world, pokes his head out from a back room, like a side room. He's got dark brown skin, and his horns are more like antlers that branch out in sort of twisted patterns. He has thick red hair, but also like a little pointy devil beard, like a real like waxed point to it, and a very spiky tail. Like his tail has like all these spines and spikes coming out of it, and he's wearing a sort of loose barman shirt. He's kind of got the cloth over his shoulder.
Nice.
And he's like, "All right, Gov, what's going on here then?" And he sort of leans out. He's like, "Oh, if it isn't the Reeve, welcome, sir, welcome. Who's this? Got some travellers in, have we, sir?" And he sort of leans over to you all. He's like, "Oh, come on in, come on in. What can I get you? What would you like to drink?"
Oh, what's the special?
Special, we asked for a special. I've got a few things. I think I've got a nice whiskey from Kelskaris. I've got I can mix you up something if you like. It's been a long time since anybody's asked for something that isn't beer or cider.
Well, just wondering what the Colvel specialty would be.
That would be cheap beer and cheap cider, my friends.
In that case, to get into the spirit of things, maybe some cheap beer and cheap cider.
I can do that. And he starts pouring out 2 pints. He gets like old metal tankards off the shelf. He like looks in them. Yeah, that's clean enough. Yeah, that'll do. yeah. But yeah, he pours out like, from big kegs, like he pours out a couple of frothy sort of pale ale, like quite light beer.
Yeah.
And then a kind of very appley cider, like really tart appley cider. And he puts those on the counter for you. The Reeve is just like, "It's all on me, Charity. I'll pay for this round of drinks. These fine folk dealt with. Did you know that the Stone Warden, he gone a bit berserk, actually? It looks like these folks took care of him, fixed him all up. The old, the one with the bees that wanders around? Yes, the same one.
There's no bees anymore.
Great honey from those bees.
Is that so? Is that so?
Interesting.
What was he? Did he say his name was?
The Reeve said that his name was Charity.
Yeah.
And yeah, but he's not said it yet. He's just like, "Oh yeah, well, come on. What else can I get you? What can I get for you, young lady?"
The cider sounds nice.
I'll do another cider. Full or half?
Half. Let's be sensible.
It's what we like to hear in a pub, people being sensible. And he goes up and pours like a little half pint.
What was your name?
Oh, forgive me, I'm Charity. I'm the owner of this place.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Lovely to meet you as well. Lovely to meet you. What was your name?
Daisy.
Daisy, a lovely name. Oh, sweet little name there. Love that. Yeah, he looks around. What about you, my big friend?
Just walked in.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I need something to cleanse my mouth. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll take the honey tea.
Honey tea, yeah, all right.
Yeah, where'd you get the honey from? Amazing.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it, right?
Yeah.
That golem that you guys fixed up, you know the bees on its back? They're these giant magic dire bees.
Yeah.
And
Right.
every now and then, like, it lets people harvest the honey. And there's a local witch we have here, and she makes this amazing honey.
Wow.
And I get a little sample of it. I buy it from her.
Incredible.
And I make this amazing honey. I've got a little bit left. I think I've only got enough for one. I think I'll need to see if I get a fresh one. Yeah, fresh
I need
one.
to top up. And this witch makes a living on this honey, or?
Oh, not a full living, but
that's-
like it's
yeah,
like one
okay,
of the
yeah.
things. But she doesn't do a lot. She's keeps herself to herself. Old Maggie I think she's from Erdus Kier. She's from the Black Dragon province. So she came here years ago. Like came here years ago, even before me. She's been around.
Wow.
Yeah, she's quite quiet. She does all sorts of like brews up potions and does little rituals for people around here and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I've got enough. I think I've got just enough for you. I'll get that sort. Let me get the cold drinks in, and I'll go brew that up for you.
Great.
What about you, my friend?
Hello, my name is Greg. I'm from a little village called Primoro,
Right.
and
Hello, my name is Charity. I'm from Colvel.
Hello, Charity from Colvel. I'd like a cider, please.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I heard it. I heard it.
It's hard not to say cider.
Look, my husband is Bristolian, and every now and again.
you want a cider?
When you want a cider, I do.
Yeah, no, he's like, oh yeah, you're fitting very well around here in Colville, I can tell. And he pours out a pint of cider for you. Ophelia's like, do you have any wine? And he's like, I think I've got a couple of bottles. Red, please. And he fetches out, he blows off the dust like, yes, cauldron red.
Shakes it a bit.
The Reeve is like, oh yes, I'll have one of those as well, please. A glass of the wine, the red, with this fine young woman. He pours out 2 glasses of white, and he goes off to brew a little pot of honey tea for Rowan. And he's like, well, I'll just be back in there. Take a seat anywhere you like. It's nice and quiet. It won't be busy until all the loggers are finished when they come in from their shift, so...
Okay.
Maggie the witch is going to be pissed off with you.
I did. Wait, it wasn't. I was defending myself, Maggie the witch. Whatever.
What was that?
Nothing. Nothing. It was just.
Is there something wrong with the golem?
No. Well, hope not. Repaired now, so you know. Yes. I mean.
Well, yes, I know. I mean, I'm afraid that Colville is not in a state where I don't really have any gold or anything to reward you. I can buy you a drink. Perhaps I can help you with whatever business you have here. But yes.
Well, we were sent here from, like we said, Ash and Rest in search of some rumours of some strange lights that have been appearing around Colvel.
Oh, my dear fellow. Oh, what a trip you've made for nothing.
For nothing?
Well,
Okay.
I suppose you don't really... Do you know much about the Rustwale Woods?
I guess I would, right?
You would know a little bit, but maybe not in this area. Like maybe Rust
not.
End has different ones. He's like,
Yeah.
well, yes, there are always stories of lights. It's part of how the woods get their name.
Always stories.
Oh, it's the wailing wisps they call it. I mean, I'm not from here, as you can tell. I came here a few years ago to take over from the previous Reeve, who abandoned their duties and left me in this delightful place. But still, yes, the wisps. People are seeing coloured lights. They say that it's the wisps. They say that they're the spirits of people who get lost in the woods and they die and then they seek out new bodies to possess them.
No.
Yes.
And I
yes.
suppose you've
They're
not
not near.
seen these wisps yourself.
It's the woods. I mean, there could be little errant bits of magic. I've seen some odd things here and there, but you know, it's an old wood. There's old magic here. You know, they say that the nature spirits of Altheya come alive in these sorts of places.
They do?
Yes, but you know, we teach the locals here. They have a lot of these superstitions, a lot of these folk tales and things like that, and they teach their children. I personally think that the wisps, the wailing wisps, they're a way of making sure the children don't go wandering off in the woods and getting eaten by a bear or kidnapped by bandits or stolen away by a dryad or something, some nature spirit.
Okay. Well, the golem wasn't the only thing we encountered on the way here, actually. We did manage to discover a crystalline construct that did seem to be infused with strange lights and wisps themselves. I wonder if you may have heard some sort of noises from these creatures. Ophelia, make the noise again.
Oh yeah.
It sort of sounded like that, yes.
Oh, I can't say.
You might have heard that in the
Goes
distance.
quite red.
or-
He's like, no, I haven't heard such a thing. But wait, now you wouldn't happen to know of there was a young squire who came by with sort of similar interests. He was asking about disappearances, people going missing off the road, and mysterious lights and things like that.
Is that Squire Pascal?
Yes, I think that was his name, Pascal. Yes. Very odd little fellow, quite a nervous little bookworm, I think.
Oh, well, that's...
This guy is like he's so scrawny and he's just
quite a little shit weasel, little 5'8" piece of shit boy.
Crawling to the walls, looking for cheese.
Okay, and this Squire Pascal is, are they still here?
No, he was asking around. He was here for a few days. Charity might know more. He came and asked me a few things. I told him what I thought. It was all a bunch of balderdash. People. Of course, it's an old woodland. Of course, people go missing. They get eaten by animals. They wander off. Drunks go off into the woods at night. Goodness knows, they probably trip on a log and crack their skull open and get eaten by badgers or something. I don't know.
Right,
But
okay.
yes, he asked around. I think
care.
he inquired with a few of the sort of more local figures about local stories and that sort of thing. I haven't seen him though. I think he went off. I thought he'd gone back to Ashen Rests, frankly.
When did you last see him?
Oh, like maybe 2-3 days ago, 4 days ago.
Okay, that's frustrating.
2 days, 3 days,
Is this
something
the
like that.
only village around this area?
There's an old ruin. Apparently there used to be an old village from centuries ago called Beswick. I think that's out off to the east somewhere, but people don't go there anymore. Again, lots of folk stories, ghosts, hauntings, that sort of thing. Apparently the one night, the story of Beswick goes, as I've heard it, is that the Duchess of Caldra of North Vale, this was hundreds of years ago, before Duke Ignaris's mother, she didn't get her hoardings. And so she sent an envoy to come and find out what was going on. Where's her tithes? Where's her hoardings? They found that the whole village just in ruins, abandoned. No, not a sign of anyone, supposedly. And everybody was too terrified of the place, so it was all left to things. And I think Colville was founded perhaps a few years later. But yes, we're one of the only villages, one of the only settlements this deep in the woods, certainly.
Interesting.
But don't pay too much attention. These locals, these loggers and the Strongreed family, they love all of these stories. I think they love to torment travellers and their children and telling them about, oh gosh, they have all these different monsters and creatures that live out in there and haunted places or if you step in a ring of mushrooms, the Feywield will kidnap you and all sorts of nonsense. It's all a bunch of balderdash.
This Strongreed family, have they encountered any of these things themselves?
Oh, you
At
would need
least
to go.
from
You
their
would need to go and
stories.
ask them. I don't. Osa Strongreed and I don't really see eye to eye. She sees her. I think she's a bit of an upstart. Really thinks that she should be in charge of the town, but that's not how it works in the Empire. Reeve is assigned by the local Duke or Duchess, and I was assigned here by Duke Ignarius. So she has to just live with it. I'm in charge. No matter how long her family's been here or how prosperous the lumber mill is, she has to follow the proper procedure.
No, and I can see you have great care for the villagers here.
Yes, of course, yes. Make sure that all the tithings are properly on time. I've never missed a payment to the Duke, never missed it. Make sure our lumber is delivered on time and make sure that any conscriptions all go without a hitch.
And the health and well-being of the people living here.
Yes, of course, yes.
Yes, of course.
As is my duty for my Duke, yes.
Well, we wouldn't want to keep you from your extremely busy, important work.
No, yes. Need to get back to the books and all of that sort of business. But, very glad that they came and grabbed me and let me know of the great deed you've done. I'll send a missive to Ashen's Rest to let Duke Ignaris know what a great service you've done to the village of Colville.
Oh, well,
that'll be
very
good.
kind. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Very least I can do. I'll go and pen that immediately, in fact. Yes, I think I shall. But enjoy your drinks, and I'm sorry that you've had such a wasted journey coming up here, chasing all these silly ghost stories and such things.
Silly ghost
But
stories.
perhaps enjoy the inn. It's all right. It's pleasant
Okay,
enough.
it's all right. Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah,
yes.
put that on a sign just outside the village.
It's all right.
Colville, it's all
all
right. Yes. Anyway.
All right, well,
He sort of like
goodbye,
hops off
farewell.
the thing. He like straightens his tie, and he.
Okay, well,
Well, with that, in fact,
Yes.
I think that is time for our break.
good call.
So, with that, you are now here in Colville. You have begun to maybe learn a few things about what is going on here or isn't going on here, if you ask Alwindell, Reevedell.
Yeah.
But yes, we are going to take a 5-minute break, everybody. We will see you back very shortly for part 2.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Welcome back to part 2 of Altheya, the Dragon Empire. Our heroes have arrived in the village of Colvel, having successfully dealt with the pursuing construct, the warden, the stone warden who was following them, malfunctioning so, was repaired and sent on its way. And now our heroes have entered into the small village of Colvel, deep within the Rustware Woods. They have entered the Acorn Tavern and met with Reeve Alwyn Dell, who seems to not find much truth in the local stories about odd lights and such things. And they are now currently sat in the tavern around a table with a round of drinks. Charity, the owner of the tavern, the tiefling male with dark brown skin, red hair, branching antler-like horns, and a very pointed, waxed devil beard, sort of brings over a very chipped ceramic teapot from which is like this steamy, sweet-smelling mist is kind of occurring. Well, here we go. Your honey tea, sir. Lovely job. And he pours it into a little teacup. Are you all right there, sir?
Don't tell me that there's actual hauntings.
Oh, sir. Ooh. Here in Colville, there's more than just spirits, you see, sir. Oh, there's the great beasts as well, lingering out in the woods. Oh, yes.
The reef told us of a ruin nearby.
Beswick.
Beswick.
Yes.
Right.
Beswick, completely abandoned.
When the envoy arrived in that haunted place,
I knew it.
the only thing they found, any evidence that the people had left, was a scrawled note written in blood.
No.
Why would they do it in blood?
What wretched sound hath borne a devil this night, it said.
It's a big, long sentence.
That's a lot of blood.
Next to it, a corpse.
What wretched...
They say
What wretched
that
sound.
knights and others who try and investigate what happened at Beswick are never heard from again.
Oh.
But of course, that's just the story, sir.
That's just a story.
Of course. Yeah, it's just a story. Right, guys?
I'm sure.
But just make sure, if you do go out into the woods and you see any coloured lights, don't follow them. Hide.
I would never.
Don't let them catch you. The wailing wisps, they'll take your body and try and walk out of these woods to free themselves.
They were not taking this body.
Okay. Now.
And you
very
see,
good story.
he's just grinning as he's
Yeah.
telling these stories. He's like, now, so a bit of business. Will you be staying? I did notice that you had got stabled a beast out the back in a wagon. Would you like to stay in the rooms here tonight? Are you heading back later today? What is your plan? We have a common room and a private room available to rent. We could also do food here.
At the hint of private room.
Ooh, yeah, she's sort of like, very interested.
Oh, well, I think we would definitely like to stay here for the night. I think we might want to spend the rest of the day talking to as many people around the town as we can, village we can.
Oh, are you here for a particular reason? I heard you talking with the Reeve, but I was out brewing the tea.
Well, laugh as you might, we are actually here to investigate these lights that you tell us about.
Well, I mean, jokes aside, there is something strange. There are things out there. Like,
Okay.
not even just not messing with you. Like, these are old woods, and
And,
there are always... we teach our kids, one of the first things that my kids learnt when they came here was don't go out into the woods at night.
Is
Don't
that-
wander off alone.
Because of wailing wisps that may take your body
I mean,
away.
the locals say, there's all these stories about the wailing wisps and the Gallowak and all this kind of nonsense, but
The
like,
Galwak, okay.
there's definitely things out there. You get the odd one, like out here, some of the loggers come in, one has a bit too much to drink. He thinks he's going to go relieve himself out in the woods. Doesn't come back.
I see.
Could be beasts, could be bandits, could be vault spawn, who knows, but something's out there. We stay safe. We lock our doors, we stay inside at night. You don't go out. Keep it nice and safe, nice and sensible.
You say vault spawn. Do you believe there is a vault near here?
Oh no, but you know, as known throughout the Empire, isn't it? You know, gnolls and such, they roam around. The vault spawn that
Roaming
escaped,
vault spawn, I see.
you know, centuries ago. Sometimes they roam. Yeah, like the idea that vault spawn don't necessarily need to come from a nearby vault.
Sure,
Vault
yeah,
spawn
yeah,
are like
yeah.
spread throughout the Empire.
They're a
Especially,
category.
yeah, it's a category of monster.
Okay,
It's
right.
like gnolls and other creatures that basically escape out. You know.
We're also open to track down our associate Squire Pascal.
I was going to ask if you knew Squire Pascal. He was
I know
asking
of
about the
him.
same things. Yeah. No, he came around here. He was here for nearly a week. He stayed here in the inn. He was up in the private room. He's not anymore. But yeah, he was asking around. He spent a bit of time asking Maggie and the Strong Reeds and the Reeve and myself. He, you know, did a lot of reading. You know, making notes in his little book. He went and spoke to Bjorn, the priest at the church. I think he was waiting here. He seemed to like he was waiting, and eventually he seemed like he couldn't wait anymore, and he went off, and I don't know where he went. I don't know who the last person he spoke to was, but he went off somewhere.
Did he go off into the woods, or do you think he returned to Ashen's Nest?
I don't know. I checked out of his room. He said he wouldn't be needing it anymore, and that was the last conversation. He didn't say to me where he was going.
Unfortunately, I think it was us he was waiting for.
Oh.
We
Well-
got delayed by a few things.
Oh, it's not my business, sir. Not my business at all.
Any indication of what the squire might have been reading, or the kind of questions they might have been asking?
Kind of the same stuff that you were asking, you know, about the lights, about local stories, places nearby. He said that there's been a lot of disappearances off the trade roads. And he asked if, you know, we'd had any sort of like reports of monsters in the area, and obviously he was learning about all the different local legends. You know, the Gallowak, Beswick. There's a lot here in Colville. You know, being in a place like this, quite remote, there's all sorts of stories. I know a couple of them, but I'm quite new to the place myself. You know, we took over the Acorn 10 years ago.
Reminds me of home, it does. We have a tradition of telling horror stories at the firelight.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe you'll be able to discern the spectacle from the truth.
Well, that's the thing, though, is every story has a kernel of truth in it. Is to teach you to be safe, teach you what your limits
Yeah,
are.
I think it's not necessarily that there's truth about these monsters, but it's their lessons, right? It's like you teach the kids you don't wander off, or the Gallowak will eat you, or the dancing ladies will take you away. You know,
Don't get
it's-
into your father's supply of liquor.
Or else.
You get drunk
Ah, right, okay, of course.
and fill the back of my paw.
Okay. Okay. Well, just in case any of this does turn out to be true, Gallowak?
Oh, you want to know about the Gallowak?
Well-
It's actually my favourite one. This one.
Okay.
Oh, can we set the atmosphere?
Sure. He clicks his fingers and he'll do thaumaturgy, and you just all the sort of shutters close, the fire, the lights dim. He's either Gallowak. Supposedly, there's a couple of stories. The Gallowak. I've heard it told twice in two different ways. The first is that it's a nature spirit, bound like an old thing from Altheya themselves. You know, real spirit of primal hunger. It's bound to a stone up near the mountains, the Gallowak stone. It comes alive and it stalks the wood to feed on whatever living thing it can find. It drinks the fresh blood of goats and boars, children or men that it can stumble upon. It's got a long, slender, eel-like body with a tiny head and huge, disgusting eyes.
Okay.
It's got sickly wings and long, razor-thin claws.
Right.
Its stone, the Gallowak stone, is in a cavern that's said to hide a trove of ancient treasures. The other way I've heard it told is that the Gallowak is actually a spirit of the Feywield, bound here in the mortal plane to protect an entrance to the Feywield itself, a secret grove on the other side that contains the treasures of a powerful hag queen.
Well,
Well, we won't be going anywhere near any of that.
no, I mean, the description of this creature is, well, no, that's haunting. But what was the other one? The dancing ladies?
Dancing Sisters, I don't know this one as well. I've heard the locals talk about it. Kind of supposedly some sort of threat out in the woods itself, but I don't know that story. You'd probably, one of the strong reads would probably be the ones talking about that. I'm trying to think, what are the other ones? I've heard the King's Throne. That's another one I've heard. Supposedly, deep in the woods, there's a mystical grove with a throne made of willow and oak. And upon it is an ancient warrior king who sits there. He was an ancient survivor of the Bright Storm, and he made a deal with the spirits of the wood to resist the dragons when they came to claim this land for themselves. He commands a force of living trees and other creatures of the world. And he will answer the challenge of any knight or servant of the dragon. And if you defeat him in single combat, he will pass the boons and powers granted to him by the forest on to you, including immortality and great strength. However, if he defeats you, he turns you into twigs and leaves and you become a member of his court.
Whoa.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
There's another one. Red Fingers Tower.
Fingers.
Don't know as much about this one. As far as I can pick up, again, Oses probably would know the details on this one. He's, Red Fingers is, well, I don't even know if he's a he. Some sort of mage, wanders around, has like a tower that can move around. The tower's got hundreds of hands on the bottom of it, and it walks around the woods.
We haven't seen that, have we?
That really is quite creepy. Oh,
think
I
we
got a shiver all the way down my spine.
Okay.
Supposedly
we
Red
should-
Fingers, he can help you, he can hurt you, he'll turn you into something unnatural, but...
Oh, this was a bad idea. We shouldn't do any of these things. We should just go home.
Well, I mean, we are here to investigate the lights at the very least, but it's good to know all the tales of a village. Get a gauge of... maybe they're all interlinked, you don't know. Maybe they're all false fairy tales.
I mean, if you're here for the light specifically, I think one of my little ones says, she says that she saw the lights one night out
Really?
the window. Yeah, I can get her if you want to talk to her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go on, give me a second. Also, those rooms, shall we get those? I can get those made up
Yes.
for you
Yes,
as well.
we better. How
We got
much?
a common room, which will sleep 4 of you. That's 1 gold for the night. Pretty cheap. Or there's a private room. It's got a double bed in it. Normally have it for couples or wealthier folks who travel. That's 5 gold for the night. It's got its own wash basin and privy up there in the private room.
One
Well,
private room, one common.
Yeah, I'm guessing, Sister Ophelia, you would like the private.
Yes.
Can you pay for it out of your own purse?
No.
Right.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
She
you
has so much
absolutely
money.
can,
I
Ophelia.
don't think she does. She spent it all.
busy
No, she spent it
spending.
all.
Okay.
That's
Remember,
like
just
a
before you
Harry
left
Potter.
Ashen Rest, she was asking for the incense for the ritual.
Well,
I feel
okay.
like that's an Ophelia problem.
We'll see.
Graf,
Yes, Sister Ophelia.
may I
the
please have
Rose.
5 gold?
Right, but this is the last time. You need to be a bit better with your money.
Yeah.
Does she not have any platinum left?
She spent it all.
She
spent
spent a
Bought
lot of
Percival
Oh,
like
she got
armor
Percival
and
armor, yeah. I forgot about that.
armor and weapons.
So that would be what, 5,
6 gold for the 2
gold.
rooms.
I will slide 6 gold and a silver over the counter for Charity's Tales.
Ah, he'll gladly take that. Kind of palms them across his fingers.
That's what we do in ISAT. We
So I should point out, it doesn't come with any food, but we do food here if you're interested.
Okay.
The rooms, I'll get your keys sorted. Let me go and fetch my little one. And he potters off. Comes back like you finish your drinks or whatever. The honey tea, by the way, Rowan, really beautiful, like really sweet, like soothes your throat.
Is it
It's very
good?
calming.
Just what you needed.
This is lovely.
It's a shame they won't get any more of this.
Such a shame.
A few moments later, Charity comes back. He comes out from like a side room. He's got like a little ring of keys. He gives one to Sister Ophelia, gives one to you, Gruff. It's pretty simple. Got just bunk beds up there, but there are things. And he says, and this is, and he sort of gestures from behind him, sort of holding onto like his little leg, is a little tiefling girl. similar kind of dark brown skin, but she doesn't have the branching horns. She does have the red hair, but it's really, really long, like goes all the way down to like her tail at her back, like these little bangs that fall over. Her horns are just these little nubs though, like they're just these little tiny little horns. But her tail has got this like heavy axe blade shaped kind of like end to it. It looks like if she hit you with it, it'd be yeah. And she's sort of like, hi.
And who is this?
He's like, go on, tell him your name. I'm Grace.
Hello, Grace.
Hello.
We're new here, so I've heard you've got some really interesting...
Daddy said you wanted to hear about the lights.
Yes, please.
Yes, we would love to hear more about the lights. See, we are
It's not
valiant.
scary, though, is it?
They were very pretty when I saw them.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, in that case, we're not valiant warriors here to destroy the lights.
No, I mean, we're not allowed to go outside at night, but one night I couldn't sleep and I was looking out of my window and I was watching the woods and because I thought I heard a noise.
Yeah.
And when I was watching in between the trees, I saw one of the lights. It was a kind of bluey green, you have a bluey kind of green. And it was like that.
Oh, it's not so bad.
And it was kind of glowing and sort of it went
Floating around?
ooh. Yeah, it was floating. Yeah.
What was the noise you heard? Was it like this, Ophelia?
Oh yeah.
Did it sound like this?
I don't know. It wasn't like that. No.
Okay. Ophelia's making the noise now.
It sounded like.
This.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Now that's actually a better impression, Ophelia. Remember this one?
It was like a. Ooh.
Okay. And it just
It was
past?
floating through the trees. It was just sort of floating back and forth, and I thought it was really, really pretty. And I thought it might be a fairy, but Michael says that fairies don't exist, that they're not real.
Well, they do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what I said, but he said I was stupid.
Oh, you're not at all.
No, I
You
didn't.
can
I
see
know
it.
I'm not stupid. He's stupid. He smells.
Yeah, he
Probably does. Yeah.
Now, Grace, you shouldn't talk about your brother. He's like, that's your brother. You can't
Oh, it's
call
your
him
brother. Your brother doesn't smell.
He does. He smells. He smells bad. He doesn't brush his teeth.
Oh, absolutely. I think brothers do smell. I agree.
So, Grace, you were looking out your window.
Yeah.
And they were between the trees with this
Like,
blue
yeah, it was,
green light.
it was far away because it
All
was
right,
really
how many
small.
me's between you and...
Lots of views.
Okay,
It's quite far.
like 10 me's?
And
She doesn't seem like she doesn't necessarily know what 10 is.
And this is the first time you've ever seen these lights?
Yeah, it's the first. But I do know that some of the loggers and some of the other people in town, they've seen the lights, and that's how I know. That's why I know that fairies are real because they've seen them too.
Okay, well, who else in the village has seen the fairies?
Loads of people.
Everyone?
Yeah. Like all of the loggers, they've said that they've seen them.
Okay.
You know, or their dad, or their brother, or their sister saw them. Like everybody knows the story where they saw the fairy lights.
Okay.
And you stayed inside, right, when you saw
Yeah,
it?
and we're not allowed to go
Good
outside
girl,
at night. We're
good
not allowed to
girl.
go outside at night.
You listened to your father.
Yeah.
Good girl.
She sort of like nods. She's like, you look really fluffy. Mm-hmm. Can I touch you?
I'll hold out a paw like that.
She like reaches out. It's like the Johnson family, they have a kitty and it's like that.
Do they know?
Like
Very
that's it.
soft.
And then I'm gonna turn my paw over, and there's a sweet in my hand.
Ah. And he's like, Charity looks down, he's like, yeah, you can have it. And he's just like, snatches it.
What do you say?
It's already in her mouth. Yeah. He's like, all right, go and help your mother set up the rooms. And he kind of like suits her off and she goes up the stairs, skips up the stairs basically. There you go.
Thank you very much.
That's
Thank
all right.
you.
First-hand account.
Like I said, it's I've never seen them, but Grace has, and I know that what she said, like pretty much everybody here has a story that they know somebody who's seen the lights out there and stuff like that, but just nobody wants to mess with it. You know, everybody knows the stories. You don't meddle with that kind of thing. The only one who I think is, well, I don't know if they've ever gone outside, but the only one who doesn't seem bothered by it all is that witch Maggie. She's an odd one, but she she's got all these sorts of charms and things outside her hut. Local folk think that, you know, she's protected by whatever it is out there.
Did Pascal spend much time with this Maggie?
Definitely went and spoke to her, yeah. I know he definitely went and spoke to her.
Okay, it'd be a good first port of call, I imagine.
Yeah.
It seems like the Reeve is also very unbothered by this whole affair.
Old Dell. Yeah. Well, he when he gets in his cups, he gripes. I don't know all the details. He gets quite slurry and often falls asleep before he finishes. But he's from Kelskaris. It's up from the big city, and I think he had his eyes on being quite a political character. But something happened, and I think he got outplayed by some rivals up in the city, and he ended up being assigned here rather than elsewhere. And yeah, he's quite bitter about it. But he refuses to give it up. He says that he's going to overcome it, that one day Duke Ignaris will notice him and realise what a good Reeve he is and assign him somewhere else, somewhere more fitting someone of his station.
And he is a good Reeve, at least?
No, he's dog shit.
I see. Okay.
No, he's not that bad. He's very focused on certain things, but the problem is he rubs Osa Strongreed up the wrong way, and she's basically Colville doesn't run without the Strongreeds.
I see. Okay.
They run the lumber mill. It's been in their family for hundreds of years, I think, and it's the prime export of the town. Like all the Rustwell timber goes down, send it by barge down to Ashen Rest, Pharos, Emberford.
Okay. And there was talk of Osa maybe being a better fit to run the village. Do you think that's the case?
Osa thinks so.
Right.
I actually don't think so. I don't know. She's well-liked, she's knowledgeable, but she's bull-headed, stubborn. I don't think she'd make a good Reeve.
I see.
But, yeah, they just, the Strongreed family have been in charge for a long time, or in charge of the lumber mill, so they think they should get a say in everything, and Alwyn disagrees.
Yeah, as long as it's not causing too much friction around here.
It causes a little, but nothing too serious. Okay. More that if you go and speak with Osa, maybe just, if you were to happen to disparage the Reeve a little bit, it might put you in her good graces.
Good to know. We can do that.
Yeah.
We're good at disparaging.
Little tip from charity, of course.
Yes. Well, slaps knees. About that time.
Your rooms are all ready, and it's about like afternoon. It's like maybe late afternoon, and he'll say, "Well, do you want another drink, or are you going to go off and speak with folks around town?"
I don't know. What do you think? Would it be a good time to start
What's the time?
speaking?
It's like late-ish afternoon, like 3,
we
4
can still talk
o'clock.
to people before
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, you've got time.
Yeah.
And if not,
And it's
people
summer,
will-
so it won't get dark until quite late.
Worst case, people will slowly file into this place.
Well, yeah,
anyway.
give a couple of hours and this place will start filling up. Like
Yes.
all the loggers come here after their shift and they'll want a stiff drink. So do forgive me if I'm a bit busy later on. I don't know if I'll have time to chat.
Quite all right. Thanks for your assistance anyway,
Right,
and for the
welcome.
rooms.
Of course, that's business, isn't it? Good to keep you. Good to keep you in good company. You know, make sure return business. Do you want dinner or breakfast tomorrow? Generally, take payment up front if you do.
Well, we've had travel rations the last 3 days, so
My wife Diana,
fair.
fantastic cook.
fish.
Fantastic cook. I can do a basic meal for 2 gold each, or Diana will give you the good food for 5 each.
I mean,
We
I think
still
tonight's we've got a rabbit stew. She's going to do a rabbit stew. I can bring out the nice meats and cheeses. She's done a delicious apple tart. That's her signature dish, the apple tart.
You got stoat on a stick?
For basic, yeah, I can do a bit of stoat on a stick. Yeah, you got a couple of them strung up out there. Got a little bit of chicken.
Christ.
Would Gruff still have fish from like what we eaten on the road?
It's like you weren't even near a source of water for a long
There's
time.
a river right
Where
there.
we
you can-
followed
if
the
you-
river.
if
We
you want-
fished on the way here. Yeah, because there was a roll.
I think there
the
was-
second
Oh,
set
that's
of rolls
right,
made,
yes,
and I
yes,
fished with
yes.
Saren.
I think
Yes,
that was
you did,
basically
yes.
like sustaining the rations. Like
Yes, you
fish
would have
and then
used
eat
that
it
that night.
immediately.
Like you don't have surplus for future days. It's like that. No,
Fish.
no I had forgotten that you did do that wrong. I did.
There is a river right there, so
You could go and fish tonight, yeah. I mean, you also have the wagon. Like, you don't have to stay in the inn. Like,
Yeah.
you could stay in the wagon. It's just not as comfortable.
I mean, after the last 3 days of food, I certainly wouldn't mind some of the more deluxe meals.
You won't regret it. My wife, she is, she's sent by the Scions themselves, I think.
Well,
she's, just God's gift, the goddess's gift to the world.
Fish out 5 gold, at least for my own. How is Ophelia looking at the idea of a deluxe meal?
How rare is this rabbit that you have? Not that rare. It's quite well cooked. Nobody likes rare rabbit. She's like, no, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I've got my supply.
Oh, good.
You really don't need to pause every time you say that.
What do you mean? But yeah.
Right, do the
So
rest of you
Xanthias wants a good meal.
I want a good meal.
I've got money for.
This isn't for now, right? It's for later.
Yeah, you'll be having dinner basically. Yeah.
Why
So
don't-
basically, Charity will say, when you come back, when you're done for the night and you want to settle down,
Sure.
I'll clear a table for you. I'll whoever the locals are in, I'll get them to clear a table, and we'll get you a nice meal served up. But we'll do it when you're ready, basically.
Rowan, are you saying you don't have any money?
I haven't had money since the clever toad situation
Why do you think that is?
because I spent the money on buying the clever toad. And
Now, are you thinking that maybe you should save your money and stop spending it on the machine that
there's only
takes
one clever toad.
the money and putting it in some unseen dimension?
What? It goes to the clever toad. An offering for
Oh, well, I did
No,
say
it
that
disappears.
foresight.
Okay.
I'm gonna pay for it.
It's going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely, my love. Yeah, absolutely.
I've paid.
It's on the up. Stonks are on the up.
What is a stonk?
It's like just something my parents used to say.
Okay, yeah.
Stonk's a special stone.
Right,
that
right.
certain
Where are we here?
tribes in
Trade in.
The Diamond Hands tribe.
in the Azar Steppe, they trade for stonks, which are special rocks that they use as a sort of bartering currency.
sometimes there's
It's
more
like a
demand.
favor stone. Like you're like,
Yeah.
I don't have it on me now. I'll give you a stonk,
Yeah.
and then you can exchange that for a
Right.
thing with me
See.
later. And
Right, okay. Yeah.
that is now canon, and we'll go into my DM notes.
And in the wiki.
That certain tribes in the Azar Steppe.
Diamond
Stonks.
Hands tribe.
Stonk
They're
rocks.
trying to go to the moon.
I am paying
Nobody wants to go to the moon.
fine. Yeah, it's broken.
bad.
It's so broken.
I do.
Not even Nova wants to go up there. Actually no, that's a lie. She
a lie.
would. I will pay 5 gold for a meal and
I'll
Daisy.
pay. I'll pay. I've
No,
paid
Daisy's
for mine.
paid.
Yeah.
I'll pay for Rowan's because Rowan brought the clever toad into the inn, and that's
Okay.
pretty great.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you
So
can all enjoy
I
a
will
fine
pay
meal this
5
evening.
gold
Thank
for.
you very much.
I forgot you were clever toad pilled.
Yeah.
I'm very entertained by it. I'm not like in belief of it. I'm,
Toad-pilled
I'm
prophecy
more
maxing.
in support of Rowan's. What? I'm not a believer of the toad so much as a believer of Rowan enjoying himself.
I'm fine.
I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised you laughed at that one.
That really got
Where
me.
my single brain cell is today.
It's not like such a youthful joke. No
So
offense.
yes,
Oh,
you have paid for dinner.
I'm gonna break your legs.
That will be served later. Where do you want to go? Like, you have basically a good few hours before everyone starts like winding down. So you have a little bit of time, depending on who
Yes.
you want to speak to.
Is
Well, we could
Maggie
either-
in the village? Or is
So
she
so
in the
Charity would
woods?
tell you like so Maggie, you can see it a mile off. It's the little hut with all the wildflowers. Don't touch any of them. I'm pretty sure some of them are poisonous. It's a little hut on the outskirts, right within the tree line, but you'll see all the charms and everything that she's got hung up around it, basically. Hard to miss. And he'll point you in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, so we can either go to Maggie or we can go to Osa.
Yeah, just head to the lumber mill. So you'll find Osa over at the lumber mill.
Okay. Osa seems to know everyone in the village quite well, but maybe the witch will have a better idea of this kind of fairy tale.
Maybe it would be best to go to Osa if she's sort of the boss, as they say. We introduce ourselves, get on our good side.
Does Maggie come to the Acorn often?
No, keeps herself to herself.
Does Osa?
Oh yeah, Osa will be here later. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it might be a good idea.
She'll
to
come.
catch-
She'll come
Maggie
drinking in
and
with
then-
all of her crew.
Well, we could catch Osa now before they've had too much to drink, and then go to Maggie after. Plan?
I'm easy. Like a Sonntag morning.
What's a Sontag? Okay.
Let's go see Osa before they're bombarded by loggers,
Yes.
and then see Maggie once the loggers have arrived.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys make your way out of the acorn, and again, this is a really small village. It's not hard. You just literally head towards the river. You see the large lumber mill built over the river itself, but also there is like a big open area where they are clearly working. And you can see loggers like cutting timber logs and things like that. There's also on the river. There's like a warehouse and like a barge dock. Which is all connected, and then what appears to be like a little office cottage, basically. And you can see that there is a sign on the lumber mill that says Strongreed and Sons, and it has a pair of like water cottontail like reeds, basically, for the symbol, like in a V shape.
Okay.
And there's dozens. Like, this is the most people you've seen so far, and they're all working in the lumber mill. Like, you have to cross over the lumber mill to get to the offices, and people are like, watch yourselves, as they're carrying, and you can see these guys carrying these huge logs like on their shoulders, very lumberjack. Everyone's kind of got their shirts off. Like, there's men and women here, various mix of races. You can see halfling like Carmen is like checking the logs, like skewering off any sort of like wonky bits, and everyone's working.
Thriving business here.
Yeah, this seems to be like the main thing of Colvel. And when you sort of are, you say like, is Osa here? And they're like, oh, office, go check the office. The boss is in the office. Come on, get out of the way. And they're like, all right, heave.
I see.
Put it
the
onto
route there. It's like an obstacle course.
Yeah, it's
saws.
You're definitely like, whoa, dodging to the
There's
side.
one way to walk through it calmly while everything's...
But you make your way over, and you head to the offices. The door is closed, but there's like a little window, and you can see that there is somebody moving around inside.
Knock, knock, knock. We're looking for Osa.
Come in.
Wow. If that's okay, I'll open the door.
Yes, come in, quick.
I open the door. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we are.
When you step inside, there is a sight before you.
Okay.
You step in, it's quite a low-roofed, cottagey kind of building. And, there's all sorts of, like, accoutrement. You can see ledgers and bookshelves. It's quite a well-furnished little office, like, quite affluent. Nice, rich, like, bearskin rug on the floor. Actually, no, not a bearskin rug. It would be something else. Like, some sort of big, fleecy rug.
Galawak.
Maybe. But you can see that there's, like, deer heads. There's, like, a huge composite bow mounted on the wall, a big axe, like leaned up against the side,
RPG.
big, like handmade wooden desk, and sort of sat behind it in this very ornate wooden chair is this not tall like Rowan, but thick, muscular bear woman. She is a wild heart, but with bear. So she has these little rounded ears, humanoid style.
Okay.
So she has these little rounded teddy ears with this thick mane of brown hair that like spills down her front and down her back. These huge, big, strongest woman sort of build. And she is in a shirt that is barely containing like her muscles, and she's hairy, like really hairy shoulders, quite hairy, not on her face but like on her arms, and she has like a bit of a kind of grizzly bear look to her in her appearance. Hello?
Oh, hello, Osa Strongreed. Sorry to interrupt
Yes?
your work. We are travelers from Ashen Rest.
The
charge-
you're the ones who were dealing with the golem, yeah?
We were dealing with the golem, yes, but hopefully that is the situation has now been resolved. But for now, the reason we're here now is we're under the charge of Emberissa Ignarius and investigating the lights and the mysterious happenings around the village.
Why are you speaking with the Reeve? I told that he took you to the inn.
Yes, we did meet the Reeve. Very
poopy. Ugh.
What
Very
a boring
poor
dwarf.
attitude, that man.
Yawn.
Poor attitude.
Yeah. What a stinker, yeah?
Yes, real. Yes,
Ugh.
no.
I wish
Stupid little tiny man.
Yes,
Wish there
no.
were a real leader
We had the misfortune of
Judge.
walking behind him into the town and-
You'll get me started.
No, absolutely. Well, that's not why we're here. Not for that insignificant, pathetic little whelp of a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I come from a village where basically bloodlines matter
hello.
more. Hello. My name is Gruff.
She like looks at Gruff and is like,
I'm from a little village called Tremoro. I'm married. I'm very married.
loses it.
But
yes.
in our village, we believe bloodlines should run the village, not little bureaucrats.
Exactly. The Strong Reeds have supported Colville for generations, and we're the reason that people get to live, and we supply the timber. He doesn't know anything about running a place like this. He doesn't know all the family. He doesn't take the time to get. I know every single person who lives here. Yeah,
And
I
it
know
looks like
all
you're
of them.
running such a thriving industry here. as well.
Yeah. My father, my grandfather, my grandmother, they, started the business, many generations ago, and it's been passed down to me. But I see great future for the Strong Reed Timber Company. Yeah. I want to expand out of Roswell. Maybe move out into the
Really?
south. Yeah. It's a thriving business. As the cities and towns are expanding, they're going to need timber and lumber for their houses, for their new shops, for the new businesses. Yeah. Oh, it's very stuffy in here. And she goes and opens the windows. Like, that's better.
So you know everybody.
Yeah.
You know all your workers.
Yes.
Have there been any disappearances?
Yeah, all the time. These idiots, they get drunk, they go out into the woods, even though we tell them they're beasts, there's bandits, and, stupid travelers on the road, carrying all of their money, all of their goods. They're prime targets for bandits. And then people start making up all of these stories, ghosts and Gallowacks and Red Fingers and all of these nonsenses.
And you believe this is banditry, not...
Or bears, or, Voltspawn, or some creatures. The only one that I think, there are the wisps. I know that, I don't think that they're the spirits of the dead lost out in the woods, yeah? They are fey creatures, or maybe some leftover magic from the Bright Storm or something. But they're harmless. They're just lights off in the...
Harmless, okay.
Well, I mean, they have to be, right? They can't, they're just lights. What
Well-
else could they be?
I mean, on our travels, we did encounter a crystalline structure that seemed to contain multicolored lights floating around its body that was a danger to us, but I mean, we dealt
Well,
with
it
it.
doesn't
But
sound like the wisps that people have seen here. There's no body. People have seen them,
but
some
you
of-
see them only at nighttime.
Not always.
Okay.
There are people who, sometimes we have to scout for new areas to take the lumber from. Yeah. So sometimes we send somebody out, and out in the woods, they have seen the wisps. Superstitious lot around here, yeah. So they hide. They don't want the wisps to see them. So they hide. They seem to be past, but. I did have a scout go missing a few months ago.
Really?
We thought that he got bit by a bear, but some of the others, or something, bandits or something. But some of the people think that, a wisp got him, or the Gallowack. The Gallowack, I'm sick of hearing about the Gallowack.
Okay. And whereabouts did this scout go missing?
It was, she pulls out a few maps that she has, and she sort of lays them out. Yeah, we were scouting, they were dispatched here, here, and here. You can see one's off to the east, one's sort of northwest, and the other one is just straight north of here. Yeah, so he was meant to go to these three places. It's not that far. It's, less than a day's travel to go between the three and come back.
Okay. Has anyone investigated these places since his disappearance?
I haven't had the spare manpower, workforce, I should say. I've not had the spare workforce to go out. Once I lost, he was a pretty talented woodsman. He knows, he knows to avoid certain, he knows how to forage. He knows how to avoid the beasts. Yeah, so
So curious.
Figured. I guess so, yeah. That's what the little scrawny squire was asking me all about, yeah.
We were about to ask after him. He was
yeah.
waiting for us, and we took our time to get here.
Ah.
So we're wondering.
Ashen rest, you never know how to be punctual.
Well, we had a few other matters to take care of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Why am I saying yeah? We were going. Fuck. Hello, my name is Grant. I'm from a little village.
Are you all right?
My wife.
Do you need something?
No, I'm
Breakfast
okay.
is resetting.
I'm just resetting.
This happens.
Hold on. Right, I'm there.
Just let them connect to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Xanthias, what have you done now?
Yes, hello.
Okay, right.
Yep.
We were wondering what he was asking after while he was here, and if you know where he went.
I don't know where he went, but I think he asked around many of the same stories. You know, a lot of my loggers, he was a very nervous little fellow. Very sort of shaky and stammering all the time. It was hard to get a word out of him, I'll be honest. But he, asked around a few questions. He asked me about Redfinger and many of these other stories. Dancing Ladies, Beswick, the King's Throne. Many of the stories that I grew up as a child. My grandfather and my father and my mother used to tell us these stories to all the children. My grandfather, my father, Bjorn, he is the new priest of the church, and he teaches many of the children, and he tells them all these stories. I think he went to see that witch. That was the last person I think he spoke to. He said that he needed to check something with her, and then he thought he might know something, but that was the last I think I saw of him.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go there now, then, I think.
Oh yeah, if you think that there's something mysterious, do you think that is there something in particular you're looking for, or you're just? Is it the same as the squires, these travelers, these stupid travelers from the road?
Right now, we're looking for him.
It's enough of
Wait, he didn't go back to Ashen Rests?
We
our
haven't seen
knowledge.
anything yet, no.
A little fellow like that probably got scooped up by an owl or something.
It's been scooped.
And now he's been pooped.
Scooped.
That's how I want to go.
In real life? Or...
Small, so weak.
or
So, like, honestly, keep an eye on this one. Scooped up by an owl, so easy. Big
yes.
owls here.
I mean, you say that. This one, she has the highest kill count in our group.
Yeah, let's not call it.
Okay.
Maybe that's
Summon
not,
a knife. No.
Fireball!
Breaking blade.
yes, no, I think we will speak with Maggie. I think the only other thing we are most interested in may be that Beswick, the we were told haunted ruins.
Yeah, haunted ruins.
But a village that just vanished overnight.
Well, this story, my family's been here since the founding. Sure, there's a lot of stories of Banshee of Beswick, ghosts, all of this. But the truth is Beswick wasn't doing very well. There's no real resources around there. They were trying to do lumber, but this was hundreds of years ago, so they didn't know what they were doing a lot of the time, So I think that they just sort of abandoned the place. And rather than going to the Duchess, I guess, at the time and saying, sorry, can't provide you with your tithing because we're all useless.
They fled.
Instead, they fled and,
I see.
some ghost.
No, a good getaway, I suppose.
yeah, that kind of covers that, doesn't it? Kind of clears that up.
If all true, then yes, that clears that up.
Well,
Yeah, no.
We heard about the dancing sisters,
Okay.
but we don't actually know what that one is. We've heard the other ones.
So this one, I think, is... I think that there's some truth to this. Oh, I'm not very good at telling stories, but I will try. So, the story of the Dancing Sisters. There's Lily, Lana, and Laura. These young maidens. They lived in Colvel, centuries ago, decades ago, whatever. And they were always told, oh, don't go to the woods, and if you go out into the woods, don't eat the fruit that looks like a white heart. Don't eat the fruit that looks like a white dewdrop. Don't eat the fruit that looks like a white dewdrop. It's bad. But the girls are young. They think, oh, we can go off and play in the woods. We want to go see the meadows. We want to play in the flowers. And they go off. They disobey their parents. And they're dancing and playing, and they come across this grove of beautiful flowers and plants. Yeah, and they see this white dewdrop fruit, and hungry. Oh, they are so hungry. So they think, oh, what can be the harm of eating this fruit? So they eat the dewdrop fruit, and then they start laughing and dancing. But they can't stop dancing, yeah? They keep dancing, and the plants, they send out the vines, and they pick out their arms, and they play them like little marionettes, and they lead them through the forest, and they begin to lure other people so that the plants can eat the people, and then the plants. I think...
Okay.
And people say that if you see girls in white dancing in the woods... that's the dancing sisters, and you avoid them. I think there are creatures, plant creatures here in the woods. I think that there is some sort of plant creature that maybe has, some sort of thing that looks like a girl dancing.
Okay.
And it uses that to lure people in. That's what I think, anyway.
Well, don't sell your storytelling too short there. That's it was a good story.
Oh, thank you, little man. That's very kind of you.
I really enjoyed it.
Have fun.
Really enjoyed it. Remind me of my wife, Cara Dwen.
Oh, yeah. Where's your wife now?
In Isar.
Huh?
In Isar.
Oh, so quite far then.
Back home, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would feel frightfully lonely if being so far away from someone for such a long time, find comfort and warmth. But, that's just me.
Very natural.
But yeah, is there anything else I can do for you?
Rowan's just terrified of that story you just heard. He's silent now.
I think I need to go send a message to someone.
Okay, go cool off out there.
Yeah, sure. Go, do whatever you need to. If you're looking for the squire, I hope you find him. We don't want any trouble here in Colvel, so don't want to have some missing squire of some night on our hands. So.
Well, we might see you at the Acorn later. We've got dinner there.
Oh, good. Yeah, charity's good. Yeah, we like charity. Knows how things work here in Colvel. So no, I like charity a lot. Good fella. Good fellow. His wife Diane. Oh, her apple tart is.
Oh, glad to hear it. Aside from Maggie, is there anyone else who might have some more potentially concrete evidence, at least, of
Concrete evidence? Ugh.
whatever concrete is?
You could go speak with my father, Bjorn. I think he believes in some of the stories a lot more than, he actually believes in a lot of these stories, yeah.
Okay.
You could speak to him, but other than that, I mean, if you've spoke to Charity and you've spoke to Alwyn, then I think you've spoken to most of everyone else here is just, they're weavers or loggers or... What?
Nothing.
They're just local folks, no one of great import.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no
Luck with all
problem.
the wood,
Yeah, we'll continue, yeah.
cutting it and moving it around and stuff.
Bring it
Great.
up, like-
That is what we do.
Lovely.
All right.
We won't keep you from that for much longer.
Yeah, good. She gets a thing and starts picking things out of her nails. She just sits back.
Imagine it's almost a chisel.
Yeah.
It's just a chisel.
Yeah. She has bare talents
yeah.
for nails. She's picking
Yeah.
bits and pieces from under them.
Okay.
I guess we go see Maggie.
Yes, let's go see Maggie.
Sure. You guys leave the lumber yard. You have to cross back over. Whoa, coming through. You're like, whoa,
about that.
just the side. You can see now, you probably wouldn't have really picked up on it before, but looking around, quite a few of the loggers and things like that, they are all wild hearts as well. Not all bears, but quite a few bear wild hearts here, who seem to be sort of, very knowledgeable. Obviously a big family, and a lot of the wild hearts here run the lumber mill. when you make your way back into town, you pick up that there are there's a local weaver and a carpenter and things leather worker, but they seem to mostly be just for people to function, for the town to function. You cross through the town square, past the Acorn, and now head out past that little wooden palisade wall. And there are a few little lodges and cabins here and there, close to the wall. But out in the distance, right on the very edge of where the forest really begins to thicken and become more deep, you see a round stone hut built on wooden stilts. So it's actually lifted up off the ground. And there's a little cargo net ladder that sort of leads up to it. And all around this little stone hut are mounds of earth covered in brightly coloured flowers and thistle reeds and all sort of many flowers that you've never seen before. And those of you in Cauldra, there's maybe even some not some of the more harsh ice heart flowers and herbs, but you would probably recognize a few. And from the Azar Steppe, there's a couple of rock bud, kind of rocky, bulbous egg-like creatures with vines coming out of it and things like that. All scattered around. And then also hanging from the trees and off the building or etched into the stone itself, you see all sorts of runic warding symbols, fetishes, kind of dream catcher-esque devices, all scattered around, real kind of Witch of the Wilds kind of vibe here. But it's a very small hut. It is clearly built for a halfling or a gnome. Rowan, you will literally have to crawl to fit into this hut. It is very, very small.
Are any of us repelled by any of the fetishes?
No, but all of you can make an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Or anybody who has magic, which is pretty much all of you. I won't for Ophelia does notice.
Natural 20.
Okay, good to know. Wow. And that makes sense, actually. That lines up. Rowan, it makes sense for you as well?
2.
To you?
2.
Yep. No, it makes sense, actually. Daisy and Gruff, you don't really notice anything.
I'm looking at the flowers. They're really
They're
nice.
very, very pretty.
I'm still kind of stunned from Osa.
Yeah, just
Flustered.
I'm so confused.
Rowan, you kind of almost feel a tingle up your arms where the proto-magi symbols are. As you pass the threshold, and you actually see that there is this very fine line in a big circle around the hut. And you feel a tingle, an electric tingle up your arms. And you're not repelled, but you definitely feel that this is warded. This place is warded against something, and it does not like the proto-magi touch on you. Xanthias, you feel a tightness in your chest immediately.
Okay.
It subsides, but you notice that the runes around your chest, you would feel them glowing quite hot, and actually a bit of light coming through your shirt a little bit, as they are almost like the runes are working overtime.
Okay.
You kind of, you're sweating a little bit, which is unusual for you being a gold dragonborn. You immediately know, this is actually quite a powerful ward around this hut, designed to keep otherworldly creatures at bay.
I see. Okay.
Would that have an impact on Nim?
No, doesn't seem to. I think because Nim is bound very internally into Daisy, it's a spiritual symbiosis. But because it's a spiritual symbiosis.
Nim never existed.
Although Nim would probably say to you, Daisy, thank you for the reminder. Nim would probably say little one, I cannot see or hear much. It is. I cannot see beyond your body. There is something clouding it. I've not encountered much like this before. So she is being repressed, they are being repressed slightly, in that their senses are cut off. As soon as it's past your skin, they can't hear or see anything. So they're aware of you and they know what you're saying and doing, but that's really it.
Am I able to obscure the light at least? I know I've got the sash.
You can like pull the
basically,
sash
yeah.
over
Okay.
and stuff like that, absolutely. Or maybe like you could even like cause like some lights around you to kind of mask it a little bit.
cool.
Look like maybe you have like an enchanted tunic or something.
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have to basically climb up and crawl into this like little. It's got an opening, but it's for a halfling. It's not built for anyone taller than sort of 3 feet tall.
Oh, before we invade on Maggie's private space, maybe we should just call up first.
Yeah, I mean, I might not even fit. So
Okay.
I'd stay here.
Maggie?
You hear a sort of meh. And then poking out of this kind of netted curtain-like surface in front of the door. There's no door.
Right.
There's just this kind of like very fine mesh net, and it's got gems and little stones and all sorts of things carved into it. A creature pokes its head underneath as a monitor lizard, but its scales are very rocky and black and harsh. It looks quite gross. It's got like snot dribbling out of its nose. Its tongue is like hanging out of its mouth, like this big forked tongue. And it looks around at all of you.
We're looking for Maggie, the witch of this village. Is
And then it scuttles back inside.
I think that might have been an invitation.
Really?
Possibly, I don't know. Gruff, are you able to?
You may come in.
Oh, okay, that is an invitation.
Didn't need to speak with animals for that.
Oh, good. All right, well, we're going to be coming up. There's there you saw us.
You may come in.
Okay, good. Let's go in. Good luck, Rowan.
Okay.
So who's going in first?
I'm happy to go in first.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Again, kind of like Rowan, like you get in and you have to really crouch and go in your hands and knees. And you crawl into space. The round hut is large, it's just short. You crawl in, a heavy, earthy smell immediately hits you. There is a little pot bubbling over a little coal fire, a little chimney kind of sending it out. The whole place is bedecked in like animal pelts and skins. Things, herbs, and little pottery objects hang from the ceiling from this meshed netting. Very Yoda's cave in Return of the Jedi, and sort of sat at this very low little table, looking into what appears to be a sort of scattering of bones in a deep bowl. Is a hunched halfling dragonborn woman. So the sort of proportions of a halfling, but you see a black draconic tail curling out from this grandmotherly sort of shawl wrapped around her, and a scale, the fully scaled black hand sort of drifts, and then a halfling, slightly tanned skin hand crosses over as she grips this walking stick and sort of pats it and turns. And the rest of you sort of follow in behind Gruff. And looking at you, you see milky white eyes, blind, completely blind. This old, very old halfling dragonborn woman. You can see that she has like black scales on her face, a little ridge of black horns, much like Xanthias. But she looks very blind, not looking at you, but in your direction.
Bracken, show them to me.
As that monitor lizard sort of coils from under the table and looks in your direction.
Yes. Wild heart of ice heart. A gold dragon born of... not dressed like the golds of Gildai. A little sweet flower, I think. And you are too big. You will cause problems.
Sorry.
She clicks her fingers
Ooh.
and I think you get a saving throw from this, as she's going to cast Reduce on you, Rowan.
Oh.
Having a big day.
Yeah, but yeah.
Day.
So I think it is. I can't remember what kind of saving throw it is.
Ooh,
I guess you would.
con.
Yeah.
Would you willingly fail it or no?
He wouldn't know what it is.
I guess not, yeah.
Con, int, whiz.
I would look it up, but my laptop's being a bit silly at the moment.
At most, it's a +2, so 21.
Maybe a whiz.
At least it's 18.
Oh, okay. Then you probably would resist it, and she's like,
Stronger willed than I thought.
What? I felt a tingle then.
I want to make you small. You will break my house.
Oh, how small are we talking?
You will be like the girl.
All right, that's fine. I'll allow it.
Good.
she kind of gestures at you, and you
Hello.
feel that same tingle.
Happen.
Yeah, she casts Reduce on you, and you.
Hello.
This is a very strange day. I'm seeing a lot of you, Rowan, today.
That is better.
Okay.
Oh, you're my size.
Yeah. Bracken, listen for me now.
And Bracken goes to the door. Bracken is the little monitor, isn't it?
Yes.
And he moves up to the door and sort of keeps watch out the door.
Oh, strangers to this little village. Why have you come?
We are under the charge of Empress Rignarius in investigation of the strange lights that have been seen around Colvel for the last few months.
You come chasing the ghost stories.
Ghost stories, yes. We're getting that indication that it's probably some fairy tales, but
What makes you think that?
just the... From what we're hearing around the village, no one seems to truly believe that...
And you think these villagers, they know all, do you?
Not necessarily. Like Gruff has said, there is some kernel of truth to these stories, there must be.
Yes.
And
Rough.
Oh,
Hello.
hello. My name is
Ice
Earth,
Heart.
from a little village called Tremoro. I'm very happily married to my wife, Keridin. We made a bond under the aurora. We are bonded for life. And she loves me as much as I love her. My love for her is as pure as the ocean. I love my wife!
that's good to hear. That's wonderful.
That's
And I'm sure my wife is not lonely without me.
Really irrelevant to this current situation, though.
I'm sure she misses me as much as I miss her.
I was going to call you wise, but perhaps that was foolish.
I am not having a good day.
Same.
So, you have come to look into ghost stories, like the squire, yeah?
Yes, exactly like the squire.
Now you have come also to see Magathera.
What?
Magathera. That is
That's your
me.
full name?
The locals, they call me Maggie.
Right, but
Old Maggie, blind Maggie, strange Maggie. But still they come,
Mean man.
always wanting. Yes, sometimes me and Maggie. I may be blind, but my hearing,
And she points to her quite large halfling dragon.
my hearing's still very good.
what color dragonborn is she again?
Black.
Black dragonborn, okay. It's my favorite.
Yeah. And she's got like real kind of, grandma robes on. You know, she's got like covered like with jewelry, but it's not metal. It's bone or wood. You can see tattoos all over her hands, going up her arms. Like the draconic arm is like a full black dragon, scaled dragonborn arm. And she has this like coiling tail. But yeah, completely blind, milky eyes. And you can see like, looking past her, there's like various like potions and alchemy equipment and supplies and things like that. You also see like odd things like what appears to be like a dried out, desiccated chicken, just sort of hung up. Tongues, like with a nail through it, just on a piece of wood.
Any Leonin wild heart skins?
There's teeth that look too big to be from an animal on like a necklace.
Okay.
Could be Leonin teeth.
Gruff's kind of looking at
Stealing your
that and
teeth.
like, he's just twitching his muzzle like,
Gruff, that's a really weird smile.
and I point at the teethy necklace.
Magathera, if that's how you'd prefer to be called.
You can call me what you wish. What would it matter what you call me?
True. You know I'm addressing you. Well, I mean,
Well, I think it's just polite to call people what they want to be called.
Come here.
Okay, hello. Hi.
Good child, respecting of your elders. I like this.
it's also
This
probably...
is how things are done in Erdaskir. We listen to the wisdom of the ancient.
It's probably also respectful to know how to properly spell that name as well.
You're welcome,
The
Chris.
proper, yes. Magethera, Magathera, or Mage Thera, if you want. It is Maggie, surname, and her surname, this won't come up, but for the wiki, is Mudbockle.
Mudbockle.
Mud buckle.
Bockle.
Buckle.
Yeah.
Mud buckle.
Maggie Mudbockle.
B-O-C.
Magathera
KLE.
mud buckle.
Yeah, Magathera Mudbockle.
I love her. I love her so much. I want to apprentice with her.
You wish to be Maggie's
Me, not the gruff.
Was it Magathera?
Magathera Mudbockle.
Yes.
Mudbuckle.
So you spoke to the squire, Pascal. How recently was that he came to visit you?
2 days.
2 days ago?
Yes.
And has since left the village.
Yes.
What was it he was asking about?
The stories, the tales. He began to suspect that there was truth to them, but not the truth that people think.
Okay.
He began to suspect that there was something greater at work here.
Right. And any indication of where Pascal might have left to go to?
I think I know, yes.
Would you care to divulge that with us?
I would.
Great. Now?
Yes,
Okay.
if you wish it.
I do wish it. I do wish it.
Good. I believe that the young squire, he believed that there was more to the legend of the Gallowak
Really?
first appeared.
The Gallowak being this nature spirit that... that's all I wrote. Okay, yes.
Yes.
And what is it you know about the Gallowak?
The locals speak of it as creature, nature, spirit. Some fools think it is from the realm of the Fae.
And that is not the case?
No. Such a creature could not be manifested here, even by great warlock. No. It is something else.
Do you believe the Gallowak is at least protecting some kind of ancient cove?
I would not know. It would be unwise for an old blind woman to go chasing after monsters.
Very good point.
That's a good point. No, that is a good point.
What about your younger years?
My younger years were spent in my beloved homeland of Erdaskir. I have fond memories of that time.
What do you think the correct story is for the Gallowak?
You seek my counsel. I have felt that somewhere here, a vault of the proto-magi exists.
Is that so?
These creatures that they speak of, the Gallowak, some vault spawn that has escaped. Perhaps these wailing wisps, perhaps the legend of the throne, the bound throne, the willow throne, or Beswick. Perhaps that is where it lies. I have even heard this tale of a mysterious mage with a hand of dripping red ink.
Fingers.
Indeed, yes. Red Finger's Tower. That would fit much of what I learned of the proto-magi when I was a student.
And another story we heard was of the dancing sisters. Do you think that has
Yes.
any...
Nothing to do with the proto-magi, I
Understood.
think. But a dangerous creature of the
Still a
woods.
threat.
Yes.
White dewdrops, don't eat those.
And don't eat, but if you encounter, bring one back for Magathira.
Okay.
Magathira will give you a present.
Present for a white dewdrop. Okay, we can look into it.
And all you have come is to seek knowledge. Many of the village, they come to Magathira for spells or potions.
Can you protect us?
From what?
Everything out there.
Oh, there are few mages and witches alive who can protect you from everything.
I felt a tingle
Yes.
coming into your...
My wards, they protect my home, but such a spell cannot be done quickly. It takes many years to build up the runic wards.
Did you give Pascal anything, the squire?
He asked for assistance, but I gave him a small boon. Want to protect him a little, but unfortunately, the items that are needed for such a spell were limited, and I do not have more of them.
Do you know, and Gruff's talking with his paw in front of his face, trying not to show his teeth. do you know which direction Squire Pascal left in?
Direction? You are asking an old blind woman for direction.
Well, you clearly have sight without sight.
Bracken sees for me. Yes, I know in which direction he headed. The Gallowak's lair is to the northeast, close to the Empress's fangs.
Close to the Empress's fangs. Okay.
It's the mountain range.
Yeah. Cool.
Travel northeast from Colvel until you reach the base, the hills before the mountains, and you will find the Gallowak stone.
Okay. And this is where Squire Pascal has run off to.
Yes.
Okay.
He wanted to see it for himself. I do not believe he thinks that the Gallowak is a real creature.
Hello, my name's Gruff. Do you have any more wisdom on the Gallowak? And I imagine we're going to. Okay.
Or the proto-magi vault.
Ah, you are treasure seekers,
Sort of.
More curious. We want to learn about them, especially
Long-
if Pascal went there.
Long ago, Magathira was a little bright-eyed student girl who studied at the Academia in Cascaris. Long ago now. Well, there were lessons we were taught of the proto-magi. Very little is known about them, however. No written records exist. They did not write or keep a script of what or who they were. Most of what is known is pieced together from the vaults. They have magics that we do not. They have some sort of ability to speak into the mind, speak into minds. They use sound, tones, harmonies, but also vibration, sometimes pulsing, beats, rhythm, this sort of thing. Their vaults we believe to be creations. We do not believe that there were many proto-magi, perhaps fewer than 30 in total, but each was immensely powerful. The vaults were their laboratories, their storehouses, their prisons, their homes in some cases, their recreation spaces, we think. They did not interact with each other much. In fact, we think there was a great rivalry between them, for there is very little to connect them. There was no cities, no cultures. They created these pockets of space that they made their own. Powerful. their magic is beyond much of what we know. Though some of the newer magics are built on the principles. If you have the knowledge of how to disable spells, dispellings, or wards against magics, these are effective. Their magic is not so great that it cannot be overcome. Their guardians, sometimes they use living creatures, creatures that seem to be ageless. Sometimes they use constructs, golems or arcane creatures powered by magic. There are traps, wards. They were secretive and protective of their own secrets, even against each other.
If there's only 30 of them and...
No, this is theory. You must understand, this is academic theory.
But if we are able to identify which of the 30 maybe it's...
That is always a problem. There is no... From what I remember, proto-magi have very little culture. Nothing of to really identify individualism.
I see.
Sometimes you see statue of creature, but we do not even know if that is a true form of proto-magi or perhaps even just a form they found interesting. It changes. There's very little... We see no sculpture or artwork of the proto-magi themselves.
Okay, so no way of... Let's say we were to encounter 10 of them in our lifetimes, we wouldn't be able to identify which of the 30 we're dealing with.
No. This is why many vaults are given names based on their function or their appearance or what was found inside, for example, or where they were found. So far, we have not been able to... Well, this was, again, many, many decades ago when I was a student. But, yes. Curious, no?
Very curious. Trying to think what to ask next. I've got so many notes.
That is... Take your time. You are any interest in potions or... incenses, quite unusual.
Well, I may have actually something that would be of interest to you if you are interested. Thank you for my message, Magathera. But I'm right here.
I send it to your sending stone. Call me.
I will. But no, are you able to identify
Yes.
magics?
Yes.
Well, in that case, I would like to show you some of these spell stones that we've recovered from a proto-magi vault that we've encountered before. Just wondering what you'd make of the magics that are contained within, and
Give to Magathera.
but I must ask you, do not cast them. As you know, they are very
I am
consumable.
no fool, little mage.
I know. Yeah, I'll hand over the both of the proto-magi spell stones.
She takes the first one. She holds it, sort of runs her hands over it. Yes, interesting spell. Spell for magic warrior, very little interest to Magathera, but interesting. Hands it back, takes the next one. This is interesting spell. Energy cascade. This Magathera is interested in, but I am not rich. I do not have gold to offer you. I have very little, but would you allow Magathera to copy?
That is
Spell?
what I was hoping for, some way to replicate this for more continued use than just this simple spell stone.
Magathera will make a copy into her spell book
Okay.
and make scroll copy for you. Then
But I
return stone to you.
and I keep the stone. Okay. That would be very useful. It would at
It will
least
take time. It will take me day to complete.
Okay.
If you trust Magathera, you leave stone with me. I will transcribe. And
I
then
certainly wouldn't
provide you...
mind at least watching just a small part of the process so I can understand it myself.
Yes, you are welcome to stay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yes. Very good.
What kind of potions and things
Many.
could you make us?
I have potions that I make that are very different to what alchemists of cities and towns will make you. These are ancient recipes from Urdaskir. They were taught to me by my coven mother many, many years ago. She reaches up and takes 5 little vials and canisters from her wall and sort of blindly arrays them out in front of her. But she seems to just know them by touch. She touches the first one. This is the wisdom of the crone. Drinking this, you will have visions to things that matter to you, important matters. But for each of these, for this potion, there is a cost. Wisdom does not come easily. She points to the second one. This, the Dream Walker's tonic. You drink before bed, and when you sleep, you do not dream. Instead, you will become a spirit, able to walk, perhaps keep watch on your camp, able to wake up whenever you wish. But also, if you walk to a dreamer, you enter their dreams. But be warned, you do not know the dream of the dreamer until you are in it. And if you enter a nightmare, well, what happens in the dream may have consequences for you.
That's pretty cool.
She points to the third. The respite of youth. Drinking this, you will enjoy bliss for one day. And when the day ends, you will be invigorated. She points to the fourth. The draught of the true self. This one many come to Magathira for. For when you drink it, that night when you sleep, you will dream of your ideal self. Perhaps you change your voice, your height, the color of your eye, your voice, your sex, your gender, whatever you wish. You will awake the next morning to the person you wish you could be. And last, this, an incense. I call it mage's breath. When burnt and inhaled over 1 hour, it will restore magical energy to any who inhale it. Divided, the energy can be split amongst those who inhale.
Okay. Interesting.
Can you tell me more of the, tell me more of the crone,
Wisdom of the crone.
wisdom of the crone. You see things that matter to you.
Yes. Answers to questions you might have. Perhaps of important things to one day come. The wisdom is not decided by me. It is decided by the world. But be warned, there's a price for the wisdom of age.
The respite of youth, you said 1 day of bliss, no downsides at all there?
I have said what I have said.
Okay, 1 day of bliss, and then you feel invigorated. That was it.
Yes.
Unless I missed something.
No, you asked.
No?
You remember correctly, my young friend.
Honestly, you'd be surprised how rare that is.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
They all seem pretty useful.
Yeah, the Mage's Breath incense is useful. The spell slot restoration thing, I presume, restores magical energies.
Yeah, out of so
Yes, the
Yeah.
only one I'm going to give you more information because it's a very mechanical thing. The Mage's Breath, basically, over a short rest, you burn it. It restores up to 4 levels of spell slots, but divided amongst those who inhale it, and you choose. So if 2 people inhale it, you could have 2 levels of spell slots each, so you could get 2 level 1s or 1 level 2. If one person inhales it, they could get 1 4th level, or a 3rd and a 1st, or
Okay.
2 seconds, or
cool.
4 firsts.
Over a short rest.
Over a short rest.
Nice. That's good to know.
Cool.
Dreamwalker's tonic doesn't seem super useful right now.
Well, should we
Should we
go
just
away and think
yeah,
about
we'll
it?
think about it
Yeah.
because we're
Wisdom of the Crone. It just depends on what that downside is.
I will tell you now, Magathera has said all she will say. Very much a case of... Yes. I promise that each will give you great experiences. But with that, I think that is the time for our episode to come to an end.
Hey, yeah.
Leaving you with Magathera. I like
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
we'll
all of this
see-
town, actually. Like all of the sort of
yeah.
Thank you.
the mythical sort of stories that are going on around here. I didn't
Folklore
expect there to be
and-
nearly
Cryptids.
this
Yeah.
many. And it turns out maybe they're all tied.
It's the kind of creepy
Or
ass place I want to
A bunch of
Yeah.
them aren't real, or maybe none of them
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask her about Bezic.
Well,
You do next
we'll
time.
have to ask next time.
Yeah.
Because that is the end of today's episode, everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week for more High Rollers.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.